for this job.
You're too slow and fast.
Don't you care how you look?
Weight bias hurts. Go to stopweightbias.com. A public service message from Obesity Action Coalition.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Here's Matthew Tkachuk for brother Brady. Shoots. He scores! 1-0 United States. Brady Tkachuk beating Verslikens. Here's Eichel. Now Tage Thompson. Backhand shot up top. He scores! 3-1 United States. Thompson on the power play. Here comes Jack Hughes. Hughes dropping it back off the print behind the back. Matthew Tkachuk. Back to Jack Hughes. Nelson scored! Wow!
An absolute thing of beauty for the red, white, and blue.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Welcome to Friday. Holy mackerel.
Oh, it is not only a Friday, it is a Friday the 13th.
Oh, it is. That's right.
Yeah.
It's also Valentine's Day Eve.
Yes.
So
prepare accordingly.
Gentlemen, get right to it. Those goal highlights were out of sequence because that last goal was the second goal for the U.S. And my money, the most beautiful of all the goals that they scored. And there were actually 7, only 5 of them counted because there were 2 goals in the first period chalked off based on one goaltender interference, 1 offside. Brock Nelson was offside on a goal where he actually brought the puck in, but he did not yet have possession of it when he entered the zone. So they called that offside. And then J.T. Miller was ruled to have interfered with a deflection goal by Brock Nelson that eliminated that one. But Nelson still scored twice. Also had, I think, a couple of posts. He was awesome. U.S. looked great yesterday. Can't believe I'm saying this out loud because I'm not a huge fan. I think it might have been the best game I've seen Jack Hughes play. I thought Jack Hughes was outstanding in the game. So good for the U.S. They needed that. They didn't really need who played goal for them again yesterday, Connor Hellebuck. They allowed a goal. It was just not a great sequence for Carolina's Jacob Slavin. I don't think it was necessarily his fault, but between he and Brock Faber could not get the puck away from the front of the U.S. net, and it ultimately gets chipped in over Hellebuck. But that was it. 5-1 was the final, and the U.S. basically pulled the reins on the third period and cruised to a victory. And they're off today, and I believe they play Germany next tomorrow. And that'll be a game that'll be just after 3 o'clock local time here in North Carolina. So the hockey off to a good start. Canada looked absolutely dreamy, but we talked about it yesterday with E.J. Raddick. Got a lot of stuff to do today. Victoria's here. We got the Olympics on. But before we get underway here, 2 items. One, terrible news from UNC about Caleb Wilson.
Oh, I know.
So
it's not good.
Remember, during the Miami game, he left the bench, came back, and he came back with a wrap on his, I believe it was his right hand. Now, he had a great sequence after coming back where cool, he's about to take this game over, which is what Carolina needed. But after this sequence where he made, I thought, 2 great defensive plays and then did it all on the other end and scored, we didn't really see much from him the rest of the way. No idea if it was related to the injury, but they said that they got him x-rays then, and they revealed no break. So they put him back in. But obviously the pain persisted. They got him checked out again, and there's a fracture in his hand.
Not good.
So they did not put a timetable on when he could come back. If the fracture isn't too bad, my guess is it's not displaced, then yeah, he'll probably be back within a month. I'm honestly just guessing. And if that's the case, then it'll just be about conditioning and finding his basketball rhythm for the ACC tournament and whatever's next, the NCAA tournament, obviously. But still, this is a tough time to be without your best player, maybe the league's best player. This is no disrespect to Cam Boozer. We know what the stats say. Cam Boozer is going to win ACC Player of the Year. He's going to win National Player of the Year. But boy, Caleb Wilson is a special, special player. And it's going to be tough for Carolina because it's harder for them now to win, especially the type of games they will need to win to enhance. And by the way, that is not the first time we will say enhance today.
No.
Not the first time.
Just a little tease for the rest of the show.
We're going to talk about that. I'm going to reference it here in a minute. But you got to win good games to maintain your level of seed. And right now, Carolina's a 4. And yes, I understand. The committee always takes into account, whether or not you're without your best players. Well, these games will have less meaning over the next several weeks, but they will not have no meaning. So keep that in mind. There will be stuff to take out of these games, so I don't think they'll allow you to lose bad games. And your overall record will matter. And also, when Caleb Wilson does come back, and I'm assuming he will come back before the end of the season, how you play when he returns will also impact things. So, again, no danger of them not making the tournament, but now you run the risk of, not enhancing where you're going to be seated. And, of course, it will matter when it comes to the ACC tournament because that's just straight up 1 through – how many teams do we have in the league now? 18. And it'll be 1 through 15, of course, that make the NCAA or the ACC tournament. The other bit of news that happened, John Gilbert, athletic director at East Carolina, gets a 3-year contract extension. 3 years, not 5. Interesting. He's been here a while, Gilbert, and nobody is questioning whether or not he's done a good job. They finally figured football out. It took a minute, but they finally figured football out. That seems to be pointed in the right direction. Baseball continues to be good. I'm not sure, and I say it that way even though I'm pretty sure nothing else really matters at East Carolina. Now, they don't want to be dreadful, and I know this year they kind of are in men's basketball, but heck, they won 19 games last year. They were over 500 in conference play. And as long as they're borderline decent, I'm not sure it really matters what happens with basketball. Like, I don't mean to disparage, Michael Schwartz, the job he's doing as the head coach, or any of the coaches before him. I'm just not sure that it matters. Hoops at ECU. Sorry. As long as football's good, as long as baseball's good, they're good. That's all it is. Fundraising, ticket sales for those two sports.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
There you go.
That's it. That's all we really need to see. It's been a minute since East Carolina's been good in basketball. I'm not sure I remember it. I've been here for nearly 30 years. Trying to think. How many times have they won? Well, they won in 12-13. They won 23 games. Jeff Lebo was the head coach. Before that, a 20-win season. I'll find it. Nope, I won't.
Just wait for it.
Nope, that's it.
Never mind.
Jeff Lebo, 23 wins. That's it. The high water mark.
Yep.
So look, just get us to baseball season. That's what basketball is there to do.
Exactly.
Get us to baseball
It's a
season.
bridge.
It's all it is. All right. So, but good for John Gilbert getting that tough news from Carolina with Caleb Wilson. We don't know what the status is, by the way, of Pat Gongba for this weekend. He's also got a hand injury, but Duke has not announced anything other than, well, we thought he might be able to play against Pitt. So maybe he'll be able to play against Clemson, and Clemson's going to be hard to beat without Pat Gongba because Duke's not the same team without him. All right, are we ready to play?
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
All right, let's dig in to whatever we're going to do today. Olympic hockey. So I need to check this score because right now, Czechia is playing with their food. They have tied it up with France.
Oh, wow.
France is no good.
What are we doing?
No good. Czechia had a 2-0 lead after one. France scored 3 times in about a 5.5-minute span of the second, but they are now through 2 periods. Czechia has tacked on another one. So Czechia is up 4-2. They scored twice in... let's see. No, it was... I can't even figure this out. Whatever. David Pasternak scored. Let's see the other Czech goals. Matai Stransky, never heard of him. Michael Kempny, I've heard of him. Martin Necas, he scored in the first period.
We've heard of him.
A power play goal. So, yes, they finally fixed the order. Czechia tied it on a Pasternak goal with about 6.5 minutes left in the second, and then with 30 seconds left, Stransky scored to make it 4-3. Appreciate ESPN getting the order of the goals back. So a little bit later on today, Switzerland and Canada will play. Canada's second match. And Switzerland, I think, is good. Switzerland is one of those, if you were looking for a long shot for a bronze medal, or even a long shot to pull off a stunning upset in a quarterfinal, Switzerland would be that team. Or at least one of those teams. Czechia, probably not as much of a long shot. The Swiss have a whole bunch of really good players. So Switzerland, Canada, 3 o'clock today. I have not seen lineups to know whether or not Seth Jarvis might draw in. My guess is not today. That they will stay with likely the same lineup that they went with in the win over, who did they just beat? Whoever I don't forget. Who Canada beat Czechia. I think they'll probably use the same lineup today. But again, I do not know that. All right, so that's that. U.S. won handily yesterday. It was a thorough thumping of Latvia. Emily Kaplan from ESPN is out there. Remember all the controversy surrounding the Olympic hockey tournament in that the arena's not built.
Yeah.
We don't even know what size the ice is going to be.
Yeah.
So she was on the drop on ESPN with Greg Wyshynski. They talked about it.
You're on the ground. Let's talk about being on the ground. I think we were all curious about this arena. We heard the horror stories about the rush to get it done. When you're inside this place, does it feel like it's like 85% complete, or does it feel like they rushed the ball over the goal line at the last second?
It feels like every time you go there, they're still constructing something. Like the one day I go there and there's no soap in any of the bathrooms. And I'm like complaining never and like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm very germy. And now today there's soap in all of the bathrooms. And sometimes like you go past an area and then a wall just appears. Look, now that we're here, no one is complaining about it because they want to play the games. I think that the ice was kind of soft at times. I think that hearing, especially the women's players who have played a couple games on it, say that it feels funny, but I don't think it's unsafe. And so they're going to keep going here, and it is what it is. The one thing that I do think is unique, firstly, it just looks stunning. Like, I think John Cooper is the first person to bring it up. At night, with all of the lights as you're approaching it, is one of the coolest buildings I have seen. And then because it is smaller, right, they didn't finish all of the seats. They're a little further back, but the noise really echoes. I think that was very clear in that Czechia-Canada game because of the way that those fans traveled. And early on in this U.S.-Latvia game, even though the Latvians were a bit quieter towards the end.
Yeah, they were quiet towards the end because the U.S. opened up a can on them. 5-1 is flattering to Latvia. I actually thought Elvis Merzlikins, Columbus's goaltender, played really well. I think he played really, really well. The U.S. did what they wanted to do, man. They were physical. They're good. They're really good. I still have doubts what it's going to look like against Canada, which, I mean, if Sidney Crosby's your third-line center, you're probably a good team. I think it's probably a good team. That's what an absolute wagon they are. Not quite like the U.S. women, though, who, by the way, will play their quarterfinal against Italy today in a name-your-final score match, more than likely. All right, a couple of other things I want to get to in our allotted time here. Joe Person from The Athletic, covers the Panthers, is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Quick tease forward for 1 o'clock. When does 2 centimeters equal 5.8 meters? So hopefully you're following. That was barely English. Hopefully you're following what I just said. 2 centimeters equals 5.8 meters, and how that could be the difference between a gold medal and no medal at all. Apparently, ski jumpers are enhancing male parts. Yeah. To increase their suit size.
Wow. Put that up.
I increase my suit size naturally. They're doing it unnaturally.
Right.
And it is helping them fly further.
Things you never thought you'd hear about the Olympics.
Yep. Yep. Cheating is everywhere.
All kinds.
I didn't think we would see it here, but we are. And we'll talk about that coming up in about 45 minutes. Cannot wait for that conversation. The Big Ten's proposal of a 24-team college football playoff tournament has been, air quotes, leaked to ESPN. Somehow, ESPN got a copy of the memo. Like, it was handed to them probably by an athletic director. That's how they somehow came across a copy of this, because the Big Ten wants it leaked. Because, oh man, people love a playoff. 24 teams. Who's not interested in that? By the way, that 24-team playoff would come at the expense of the conference championship games, which would come at the expense of lower revenues for the 4 conferences. All of those conference championship games, whether the games themselves actually make money, and I believe only the SECs actually makes money. The others all, at best, break even. They are all part of the television package for those leagues. And if you got rid of that game, which is, they're all, I mean, big winners in terms of television ratings. If you got rid of that game, the television package would be worth less. And nobody wants to see that number go down. Even if other numbers go up, nobody wants to see that number go down. And remember this, college administrators are not about the business of doing what's right for sports. And by the way, not suggesting that this is right. They are only about the business of finding as much money as they possibly can. So giving up a game, a conference championship game that the overwhelming majority will never play in, and the overwhelming majority have no chance to ever play in. They are not going to do that. So we are never going to see a reduction in games. We are only going to see an increasing number of them. With that said, 24 means the 23 best. It didn't say how they would determine these. My guess is it would still be the committee. The 23 best plus one guaranteed spot for a group of 6 school. By the way, did it say group of 6? Because the Pac-12 is back.
It is.
Not really. Not really. Honestly, I believe the Pac-12 Pac-12 should be part of the group of 5, and now group of 6. Actually, maybe that's why it's group of 6, because it is the Pac-12 and it is part of that, because we had only 5 other conferences this past year, so now we've got 6. So, yeah, the Pac-12 is in that group. My guess is maybe 2 schools from outside the Power 4 would get in. The Big Ten also put forth their own little example if they did it this year. By the way, there are no guarantees. Only the conference champions get guaranteed. And because there are no guarantees, like remember the early stories were the Big 12 the Big 10 would get 7 teams in. The SEC would be guaranteed 7 teams, which is all silly. I believe the SEC would have gotten 7, the Big 10 would have gotten 6, blah, 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 blah. The ACC would have gotten 3. And my guess is those 3 would have been Miami, Duke, and Virginia. Get better at football, fellas. Come on, let's get on that. But 24 is, of course, silly. But that's what they're suggesting, and they're going to have support from coaches who look at that and go, all I got to do is make the tournament, make the playoffs. We got 24 teams in. Come on. I do that, every other year. If you're a little bit down the standings of a particular school, like if you're James Franklin and Virginia Tech and you make the playoffs, let's say against Virginia Tech back, and they make the playoffs 2 out of every 3 years, you're there as long as you want. The flip side to that is if you don't get there, you're fired. So it works both ways. Expanded field, yeah, job security. Wait, you missed again? You're out. It works both ways. Big weekend coming up of ACC basketball with the Blue Devils hosting Clemson, Carolina hosting Pitt, NC State hosting Miami. Everybody's in town. So we've already talked about State and Miami, how big it's a great opportunity for NC State against a good team to, they're forced to play well. You're not gonna fake it and beat Miami. Carolina, now we'll see how they play without Caleb Wilson. Hopefully he won't be gone too long. If he's gone for a month, it still allows him time to come back for the NCAA tournament. If he's just gone for a few weeks, because we don't know the nature of the fracture in his hand, then he'll be able to come back hopefully by the ACC tournament, at least get his feet wet, if you will, in the ACC tournament. But they're playing a team in Pitt that they should handle comfortably. And Duke has a good one. There aren't that many teams that are challenging Duke at the top of the ACC. Clemson, a game back, is one of them. While Duke was losing to Carolina, and obviously they bounced back with the win over Pitt, but Wednesday, Clemson lost at home to Virginia Tech. By the way, my friend Mike DeCourcy, who's going to join us next week, he has his latest bracket out for Fox Sports. Duke 1, Carolina, Virginia 4s, Clemson, Louisville 6, NC State 8, SMU, Miami both 10s, Virginia Tech in the first 4 as an 11 seed. I can't wait to see how this college football playoff field works with 24 teams. It's 2 rounds of home games, and then we go back to bowls. Here's my question. At some point, by the way, I didn't mention it yesterday, probably should have. The bowl in Detroit is going away. They are discontinuing it. I don't know if it's effective immediately or not, but they announced that they were discontinuing it. I do think that with more teams going to the playoff, other than the 6 bowls they use for the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and frankly, we should probably think about spending more time on campus than we do in neutral sites. But with bowls going away and teams being siphoned out of the bowls to to be in the playoff, and nobody's going to a bowl game after losing a playoff game. Nobody. I do wonder the future of bowls and the power leagues. Now, all the teams in the MAC and the American and the Mountain West and the Pac-12, those schools are all Sunbelt. They're all going to bowl games because bowl games are fun. Plus, the FanDuel app.
Yes.
Right. That's what they're for. Because otherwise, you'd have to talk to your family during the holidays.
Right, and who wants to do that?
Come on. But at some point, teams don't want to go. And, yeah, the lesser bowls, the bowls like the Gasparilla. Sarsaparilla is a drink. Gasparilla, I don't even know what that is. But it's a bowl. So the Gasparilla Bowl, they know that they're not getting Power League teams, so maybe it doesn't matter for those games. But, man, Gator Bowls, the Belk Bowl, the Duke's Mayo Bowl now, right? The Pinstripe Bowl, which is getting two, Power League teams. Those bowls are going to find it really, really hard to continue. And it's okay. It's an evolution of college sports, but that will happen if we expand the playoff to 24. Gosh, don't. Just don't. Like, the number 12 was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Just maybe get to the 12 a little bit smarter than they did this year. All right, Victoria, we're going to break here. When we come back, we will talk with Joe Person from The Athletic. We talked about the Panthers yesterday. Where should they go in the draft? Areas that they need to upgrade and think about upgrading. We'll do that with Joe Person next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The world's best athletes in Italy are going for the gold, and 99.9 The Fan will help you follow them for all 16 days of the Winter Games through February 22nd. Listen for all the action from across the Atlantic. Check in often for event finals from Italy and the updated medal count as the USA takes on the world. Updates from the Winter Games on 99.9 The Fan are presented by WakeMed.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
It's back. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards going on this weekend. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands, on-site financing to get you approved and on the water, boats in stock and price to move now. Test drive your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale going on this weekend at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards.
You know the feeling. Wake up, get ready, get the kids, the list goes on. But what if what you drive could make your life a little less complicated? With convenient home charging, a quieter ride, and an average range of more than 250 miles, EVs are one step toward a cleaner future, so you can focus on what really matters. Give yourself more time to recharge. EVs are for everyone. Sponsored by the NC Clean Energy Technology Center and the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters in cooperation with this station.
I am here with Patrick Day of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I'm on your website. Gutter helmets right on the front of the website. Do you have a gutter helmet to fit my head? I have a small head.
We have a gutter helmet for every head, Adam. So anyhow, if you give us a call, we'll come out and take a look at your windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, and of course we can do the gutter helmet. We have financing programs that are really good. So we have like 12 months with 0 payments for 12 months. You don't have to pay anything. So if you're thinking about home improvements and you're thinking you're saving up for it, just come on and see us and we'll go ahead and get you set up and get your project done, and you can pay in 12 months from now.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me. If it's for the exterior of your home, there is no better place than the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online, aluminumcompany.com. Siding, roofing, windows, entry doors, storm doors, and the world-famous gutter helmets. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 1-800-672-4348.
I'm Neil, founder of Clay Room. When I found ceramics, I realized my calling was to give others the space to be creative. So I set out to open my own studio. Having a Chase Ink card has allowed us to grow it and bring people together. Now we're molding a creative community,
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Soundstation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Soundstation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Soundstation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Soundstation and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
One Adam.
Gold.
One Adam.
Gold.
I have his jersey.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you have any other jerseys or just a Jake Delhomme?
I got so many.
Do you really?
I go all the way back from Tim Biakabatuka.
Wow.
Yes. Cam, Luke, obviously, Smitty. So, yeah, I've got multiple. 6 or 7, maybe?
6, 7?
6, 7? 6, 7?
The Adam Gold Show.
Happy Friday the 13th for everybody.
Yes. Some people think the 13th is good luck. We'll see.
Yeah,
We're putting it out there.
I don't believe in, like, good luck, bad luck, any of that. But if you do, meaning you, anybody listening, then, I don't know, you might be right.
Yeah. And
You believe
hopefully you're not right about bad luck, because some people think Friday the 13th is bad luck.
No. I do find it interesting, and this would be a great way to get into our conversation with Joe Person from The Athletic, covers the Panthers, multiple award winner. So in high-rise buildings that don't have a 13th floor, they know we can tell, right? So the 14th floor is really the 13th floor. Do they think that just changing the name of it to the 14th floor will remove any bad juju?
Man, I did not know we were going to get into this on a Friday.
It's Friday.
I will tell you that I recently booked a flight. I forget if it was. I might have been going to Phoenix. I'm going to Phoenix for the owners' meeting here. In when is it? End of March.
Right.
And they're like, pick your seat. And there were some openings in row 13, and they were like the closest to the front. You know, get off early, be the first one on, got first one. And I did kind of reluctantly pick it. I did go 13, but I may be changing that as we get closer to the travel day.
Really? Okay. See, this I did not realize that it would, if it was closest to the and it didn't cost me like $72. I don't understand the difference, like between row 13 and row 16. Why one is $72 to add it, or $18? The other is $15. By the way, we just came back from Phoenix, and we had an exit row, and that was phenomenal.
Awesome.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
I call that I'm sure I'm very unique in this. I call that the poor man's first class.
It's perfect. It really was. It was fantastic. I will always volunteer for the exit row. Joe Person. Where are you staying, by the way, as we don't talk any football yet? Do you know where you're staying?
I'm waiting on the meetings are at the Biltmore or near they're at the Arizona Biltmore, so I'm not going to stay there at $600 a night,
right.
But hopefully not too. I do like Scottsdale.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sure your listeners are riveted by this, especially when we start talking about me being en route to Greensboro. then we talk about where I need to go eat tonight in Greensboro.
All right. Well, I don't have any recommendations for that, but
oh my gosh, I got you, Joe.
Victoria's got it. I will tell you the Velvet Taco in Scottsdale is fantastic. So go check that out. All right, let's get into the Panthers. I know you have a mock draft, a Panthers mock draft up, and you say this will be a heavy defense draft. So why don't you start where you think they should go at number 19?
Well, I'm going to first of all be the weenie that blames his editor on that headline. I think it's going to be defense driven at the start of the draft. I don't think it's going to be just all day every day from Thursday. Yeah, but that said, I think the two positions of biggest need on that defense and really on the team are edge rusher and off-ball linebacker. Middle linebacker in a 4-3, but in the 3-4 off-ball linebacker.
Right.
And you talk to people, and this is not new, but you talk to people around the league, and there's just more juice and more value in an edge rusher. And so, all things being equal, you probably lean that way, but there again, look at the guy that we spent a lot of time last week writing and talking about, and Luke Kuechly. Thank goodness that the Panthers didn't draft Quentin Coples that year, the defensive tackle from. So anyway, I'm just kind of diving into this early on. I've got something else coming Monday on the draft, and it's good. This time of year you start. I'm not a guy that follows these developments all year long, so it's good for me to start writing draft stories and mocks and big boards as early as I can, just to get caught up to speed with it.
Joe Person from The Athletic is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show at Joseph Person on Twitter. So here's where my head is at and where it's been at for a minute. And this, I felt this way before the unfortunate injury to Ike Ekwonu in the playoff game. Is that if for me, in order for the Panthers to take another step, whether it's as an offense or as a team, they need edge rusher. But I thought they were going to need to upgrade at left tackle from Ike Ekwonu anyway, get better. Not that Ike Ekwonu isn't good. I just think that in order to be one of those teams, you need to be significantly better. And I do think that there is use for Ekwonu to basically move out Taylor Moton over time, because I think he would profile really well as more of a run-blocking right tackle. And there is a player at Alabama named Caden Proctor. I was talking about this with Ryan Wilson of CBS yesterday. That is a freak athlete and probably is a plug-and-play starter at left tackle. Would you endorse a left tackle at number 19?
Yeah, and that's the other position that I'm glad you brought it up, because if it's not on defense, then I think that's got to be where it is. And for the reasons you just mentioned, Taylor Moton's getting older. I know they just re-signed him, so that wouldn't be ideal. But Ike Ekwonu, I mean, they were getting ready. They had extension talks with him. And so they were not ready to move off Ike Ekwonu, not by a long stretch. Does that strategy change now? Like that's the unfortunate, uncaring, callous part of this business that we all know and the players know. They sign up for it. It's just it sucks for Ike Ekwonu. The timing is such, and maybe it doesn't ultimately impact his ability to get that second contract. But to your point, no, I think the Caden Proctor thing is interesting. I'm glad Ryan Wilson mentioned that. By the way, Ryan Wilson, another proud William & Mary graduate.
The pride of Bowie's Creek, we say all the time when he comes on.
Well, I didn't know that, but I like the tackle. In my first mock, I had them grabbing one in the third round.
Yep.
But that's tricky because you're not usually finding, your franchise left tackle in the third round. I was kind of trying to piece it together as a stopgap. I will say this. I've had folks within the organization suggest that they could try to do this via free agency and the draft at tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that to mean as more of a stopgap and potentially you hit on a developmental guy who ends up being the dude. But anyway, that's a very fascinating piece of this draft for me.
Joe Person from The Athletic is joining us here talking about the Panthers. They have a lot of needs. I mean, yeah, they need edge rusher. They need inside linebacker. They need another receiver. I mean, I would love to see more of a dynamic tight end. I just don't know that anybody they've got is a needle mover. Tommy Tremble's solid. Jatavian Sanders hasn't quite broken through yet. I know it's just 2 years, and maybe he will. I'm not sure there's anybody there that other teams will like circle on their game plan and go, okay, we have to deal with somebody with this particular player. Where are you on skill position players on the offense?
You know what's interesting is I have gotten a just general feeling in talking to people over there that when you bring up tight end, it's like, yeah, but boy, wouldn't a yards after catch, just lightning fast receiver who we can also give the ball to on jet sweeps, wouldn't that even be better? And you know, they kind of took a flyer on a guy like that last year, albeit in the 6th round with Jimmy Horn.
Right.
He's okay. He was okay as a rookie. But clearly, if that's being suggested to me, then they think they can do better with a guy like that. Would it be in lieu of a tight end? I don't know. And here's something else that I think, as you were asking that question, I was thinking about. I talked to Jimmy Graham a month ago for a story about coming back from this same ruptured patella tendon that Ike Ekwonu. Jimmy Graham, in his prime, was traded to Seattle when Dave Canales was on that staff, but so also was the recently hired Darrell Bevel.
That's right.
Who just took it. And so maybe Bevel coming in now as an offensive specialist / assistant head coach. I mean, he was the offense coordinator for Seattle when they traded for Jimmy Graham, if my math is correct. And so just something, maybe the tight end position takes on a little bit more importance. Not that it hasn't been important. They were playing a lot of 3 tight end sets at the end, but they were doing it to benefit the run game.
Right.
Not what you're saying, which I think is a valuable point. How could a receiving tight end help this offense?
Yeah, so the top tight end on the board is one of those hybrid receivers, by the way, Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon. But I thought you were describing in the jet sweepish type of a wide receiver. I thought you were describing KC Concepcion, and a lot of Wolfpack fans will remember him from his days with NC State before playing last year at Texas A&M, and he is a big-time playmaker who also can run the ball from the backfield, because I know the Wolfpack used him in that situation a ton a couple of years ago. Defensive back is always a big deal. They need safeties. I think they're probably better set at corner than even they anticipated going into this year with the year that Mike Jackson had. But safety is a good spot to look too, no?
Yeah, I agree with you. They spent money, and it turned out to be very, money very well spent on Trayvon Merrick last year. Comes in, played. It absolutely is better, maybe even better than they could have hoped. I mean, he was a beast in stopping the run. He did some nice things in the blitz game. And then they also drafted, as you know, in the 4th round, Lathan Ransom out of Ohio State. The thing is, those two guys are kind of the same dude, and it's like in-the-box safety. Yep. There's a place for both of them on the field, but it's like using Ransom as a nickel back when you think the other team's running the ball. Mm-hmm. So all of which to say, and I've written this, I feel like, the last 2 off seasons. I think Dan Morgan and Ajero Avero and company would like a kind of taller, rangy safety, if you will, to kind of patrol that back end. Last year, They had Nick Scott back there, and Nick didn't play. I thought Nick actually played better. I mean, people were sort of up in arms about Nick Scott at the beginning of the year. Why aren't we starting Lathan Ransom? Well, listen, Nick Scott's value, though, is kind of like those guys I just mentioned. He can do some things in coverage, and he had an interception of I'm an idiot, of Matthew Stafford.
Oh, okay.
He ended Stafford's long interception-less streak. But most of what Nick Scott did, that in the positive vein, was in the run game. So yeah, we're talking about a lot of needs here, and
right.
And I don't know how much of that you're going to be able to accomplish in the draft, but that's why it'll be. And it's weird. The combine predates. We start talking about combine prospects, and it's like, oh wait, they got to do free agency, which is going to. But no, they have a lot of needs, and honestly, and I'm working on a story for this next week. They don't have a ton of money. They're at like $14 million under the cap right now, but they have some ways to create more cap space, and I think cutting A'Shawn Robinson is sort of at the top of that list.
You see it, yeah. That will create about $10 million more in cap room. Like I've talked about this for the last few days. I'm not in favor of going after a Max Crosby because of his age, and I think you're not close enough to being one of those teams that Max Crosby is a put you over the top. Not to mention all the cap room he would eat up. Forget about the the acquisition cost, because it might not be that much, because it doesn't seem to cost a ton of draft capital to get players who are up there in age who are not quarterbacks. But I would just rather deal with it through the draft, maybe a lesser free agent, and not have to give up anything for a player that can help you at that position. Joe Person from The Athletic on his way to Greensboro. Victoria will give you any restaurant recommendations.
Already did.
There you go. I appreciate your time, sir. As always, I will talk to you soon.
Have a great weekend, buddy.
You too. Joe Person from The Athletic. When we come back, one-timers, questions and answers you ask us or me or both of us, because we do it all the time. Next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Practicing a championship way can happen 100% of every day, in the pool and when traveling highways. A law of sportsmanship includes taking the high road when going away and returning home. Buckle up your seatbelt in the front and back seats. Every seat, every time. Each time you click it, counts as a winning ticket. Demonstrate your championship drive through your safety practice, a freestyle by any measure. This message was brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program and the North Carolina High School Athletic Association.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available. If you feel lonely, isolated, anxious, or overwhelmed, help is here all day and night. Call, text, or chat 988 without cost, without judgment, and without waiting for an appointment. You'll get support that can make a difference. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
You know the only feeling sweeter than opening a college acceptance letter? Knowing that you'll be able to pay for tuition however far you go. The first step? Completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA for short. Find out how much money for college you qualify for. Grants, scholarships, and other opportunities are waiting. How far can you go? Find out at cfnc.org/FAFSA 101.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year?
The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Hear interviews that go beyond the headlines with guests who know North Carolina best. Listen on the radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Gold. Gold.
I told Jack in the car, you know what the word of the year is? He goes, what? I said it's 6-7. He just laughed.
I know.
It just means nothing. And that's fantastic that it's now the word of the year. What a country.
Can we bring back cool story, bro? That way, us millennials can be like, yeah, cool story, bro. I would love
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Scheduling adjustment. Wes Durham will join us in the studio. He was going to join us in the studio anyway, but I thought it was going to be a little bit later. Wes will join us, I believe, top of the hour, which means that our ski jumping male enhancement story will be postponed until hour number 3.
Right. Yeah. Just push that back there.
Easy. Easy. Do you remember? I don't know why I'm asking you this. Do you remember the old Enzyte commercials?
No.
Smiling Bob?
Oh, no. No, I don't think I do.
Google them, kids.
Okay.
Google them, kids. They're fine. They're safe for
so
they're
I
safe
can
for
use
work.
the company computer.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
The commercials are safe for work, but they're super fun and suggestive.
I see.
And Smiling Bob is very happy with his purchase.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for One Time.
Okay, well, looking towards our YouTube stream, kicking things off is Don, which would lead to competitive balance in the MLB. More salary cap or salary floor?
Well, they're one and the same. They would. You're not going to have a cap without a floor. Just that'll never happen. Neither. It's hard to convince people when they see other sports maybe succeeding with it. But I would argue that if we're looking for competitive balance, Major League Baseball has it more than any other sport anyway. Throw the Dodgers out. The Dodgers have still just won 2 World Series in a row. That's it. Like the Chiefs did. So it's competitive balance will not be achieved through a salary cap. The only thing that will be achieved through a salary cap is less money going to where it belongs, which is the players. Next.
Next up from William, thoughts on a group of 6 only football playoff.
I mean, when we have 3 levels of Division I, that's what we'll have. And it will get a lot of eyeballs, more than the FCS, because those schools are playing football at a pretty high level.
Yeah.
So people will watch it because it's football. And heck, people will, to an extent, watch something called the USL. So they'll watch college. They'll watch the college game in a lot greater numbers.
Next up from Talia, is Saturday involving a date with your sweetie, a date with the television watching Team USA versus Denmark, or both? And also, happy 30th, Ehlers.
Oh, okay. Oh,
it's his birthday.
It's his birthday. Wow. Tomorrow, Valentine's Day, will be spent, yes, with my beloved and probably all 4 horses.
I feel like tomorrow's going to be a busy day for her, like dressing people up with hair appointments, right? No,
she doesn't work weekends.
Oh, look at her go!
Yeah, she's smarter than that. Yeah, she doesn't work weekends, and she also doesn't do the updos. She doesn't do like
smart.
Prom hair or things like that. No,
gosh.
she doesn't do that.
8 cans of hairspray.
No, we'll be in the barn, man, and then we'll watch. I don't know. I might be watching soccer. FA Cup weekend.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Winter games in full swing. We've got both hockey tournaments going on at the same time. The women, by the way, are in the quarterfinals already. The U.S. is going to walk the dog with Italy, so stay away from that. But we've got Canada taking on Switzerland today. Canada's going to win, but Canada minus a goal and a half, over 5.5, gets you basically to even money. Let's tack on a Macklin Celebrini anytime goal, and that'll jump your odds to almost plus 300. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, and the home for everything Winter Olympics, from speed skating to curling. I am into the curling, really into it, to the point where I was criticizing the American men for a strategy I could not recognize. FanDuel for the Winter Games. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to protect people's health, to preserve magnificent places and wildlife, and to combat climate change. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed-rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%, lowest in years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time, or you can keep your primary mortgage intact and get cash out of your equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards and some car loans and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now and see what option works best for you. But don't won't miss the big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous rapid equity loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks, and you may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal with no hard credit pull. Call 919-381-1760 now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Think Verizon is expensive? Think again. Anyone can bring their AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today, and we'll give you a better deal. So bring us your bill. Walk in, run in, pogo stick in, teleport if you can. Ride on the back of a rollerblading yak or fly in on the wings of a majestic falcon. Any way you can, bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today, and we'll give you a better deal on the best network. Based on Root Metrics Best Overall Mobile Network Performance, U.S. Second Half 2025. All rights reserved. Must provide very recent postpaid consumer mobile bill in the name of the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Double team, cross lane pass picked off Copeland. Bounces ahead, backdoor feed, catch, Lubin catches, lays it in. Down the court, catch, fire, Holloman open, drills it far side. 47-35 Pack, 5 minutes and 10 seconds since halftime. McNeil up top, steps into a three-pointer, straight away, got it, hand in his face. Paul McNeil is white hot. 67-55 Pack, 8 minutes to play.
We're back. Hey, it's the Adam Gold Show. Look who's in studio with me.
Oh, my gosh.
The one and only, the Wes Durham, the reason the Atlantic Coast Conference
Hello, Victoria.
turns a profit.
It's great to see you.
Hi, Wes.
How
it's
are
so
you?
good to see you.
It's really the only reason I came was to see Victoria's shining face.
I have to get a hug before you leave, so you're not allowed to leave.
It's great to see you.
No, but I've never offered a hug. This is fine.
Well, that's, again, she works with you. She knows me. It's a different deal. How you doing? You look good. Let's go. Maryland, Maryland.
What are we doing?
Win. What are we doing?
This is like having a conversation with Debbie Yao. Debbie Yao, former AD at NC State.
Elon grad.
That's
it.
Former Maryland AD.
Yeah.
And she always said, your school's doing well.
Yeah, your school is.
I did go there.
Yeah.
I have not paid attention to anything Maryland.
Buzz is coaching them, though. Come on.
Buzz is not talking to the media up there now.
Well, we always have those moments. Buzz, come on. That's not new with Buzz. He shuts the media down. He comes back.
I know that. I like Buzz Williams. I loved him when he was at Virginia Tech.
Van Pelt and I had a great conversation in late December about.
Does he like Buzz?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, well, he gets it like you and I do.
Yeah. He is a.
Van Alstyne, Texas.
That is a place that should be great for basketball.
Should be.
I don't know if
a lot of players walk out of there, man. A lot of players leave the DMV. I'm working with one tomorrow at Lenovo Center.
Who you?
Dennis Scott.
I didn't know Dennis Scott was part
DMV,
of the
Lowndes County, Flint Hill, all that.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, come on, man. Stu Vetter.
By the way, you guys are a great team.
Thank you.
I was watching the which game did
Carolina,
you guys have?
Miami, Tuesday night with Debbie Antonelli. We put the Cary Apex people shoulder to shoulder and added 3D.
Dude, let me tell you, that was a great broadcast.
Thank you. You may see it again.
I have mad respect for Debbie Antonelli.
She's amazing.
Yes. The game.
Yeah,
she knows the game.
My son sent me a text during the game after Debbie said, look at the Gortat cut. And my son goes, ballers know the Gortat cut. I'm like, okay, I'm in. My son, who is a complete baller, knows the game, knows the cuts, knows the weaves, all that stuff. I'm just her humble announcer and apparently above average father. So there you go.
You're way above average.
Thanks.
You're a tremendous slouch. That is Wes Durham, the voice of the ACC, reason the conference turns a profit. Before we get to basketball,
sure.
We are, which game do you have again tomorrow?
I'm doing State Miami at 4 o'clock on ESPN2.
Duke Clemson's going to be good. That is I want to talk about that game because I think it's a perfect game for State to play on the back of whatever that was at Louisville.
That was an ABA game the other night.
Oh, boy.
That was the Kentucky Colonels and the Virginia Squires without Julius Erving.
I was at Virginia Squires New York Nets games watching Julius Erving when he was with the Nets. No.
Oh, with the Nets?
Nets.
With Larry Keenan and Billy Whopper Paltz.
Who else was there? He played at Mr. We called him Mr. We had Dr. J and Mr. K.
That was Larry Keenan.
Okay. Whoever it was.
Who later went to the San Antonio Spurs.
I was such a Julius Erving fan. It's
Have
not
you
even
seen
funny.
Soul Power?
No.
You haven't on Amazon?
I have not.
Debuted 2 nights ago.
Is it about the ABA?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got
4 episodes, 1 hour each. I watched most of the first hour last night.
All right. See, I have a queue now of things that I got to watch.
Dude, I want to tell you, if you're like I'm 60, you're coming to that age. Yeah, don't tell anybody. 60's hitting a little differently than 40 and 50
It's the new
did.
40.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm acting the way I am.
It's the new 40.
Soul Power's phenomenal.
Okay.
If you grew up in the 70s and you spent time at the Greensboro Coliseum or at Dorton Arena or at Reynolds Coliseum watching the Carolina Cougars in this area, or at the old Chrome Dome on Independence Boulevard in Charlotte watching
the Nassau Coliseum watching the Nets.
Long Island, if you were at the Scope in Norfolk, if you were at the Hemisphere Arena in San Antonio or in Memphis at the Tams watching that crowd, or bless your heart at Freedom Hall watching the hated Kentucky Colonels, you will love Soul Power.
All right, I will love it.
So good.
I will love it.
So good.
That was, fun basketball.
George Carl, one of the executive producers.
Oh, really?
With Dr. J and Common and 3 other guys who are those kind of guys full time.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. I also want to watch the Miracle on Ice documentary.
That is crazy good.
Yep. That's what I tell people.
You will cry.
I bet I will.
You will cry.
That's the event. I was already a hockey fan, but I was a hockey fan because all of my friends were Rangers fans, and I became an Islanders fan. So I was already a hockey fan, but I wasn't like I had to watch.
Sure.
The 80 Olympic team. Gone. I was completely hooked on the sport from that point.
You will, because you and I are the same age. My wife is 5 years younger than me. She was 9 when it happened. I was 14. That is a big gap in that era of your life.
Sure.
She didn't realize that the game wasn't shown live on television.
No, the game was played at
1 o'clock in the afternoon or something.
No, it was earlier than that.
Oh,
it was a morning. It's like a 10:30 start.
And they won the game, and they replayed it on ABC that Friday night.
Yep.
And I happened to watch. This shows you how old I am and how television news has changed. They had a CBS news break like at 8:30. How they used to like update a headline during the primetime schedule on Friday night. And at Lake Placid, the United States beat the Soviet Union 4-3. And I turned to ABC and saw the last 2 periods. And I was like, holy cow, I know what happens. And my mother never heard any of it. She walked in and goes, are we beating the Russians?
Yeah.
There you go.
And if they didn't beat Finland in the next game, because that was not the gold medal, they did not guarantee themselves anything.
Jeff Capel's shot did not win the game for Duke, and Mike Eruzione and the U.S. did not win the gold medal beating the Soviet Union. 2 facts that are important to remember in life.
They had to beat Finland it was called the gold medal match, but if Finland won, they weren't necessarily going to be the gold. The Soviets still could have won gold.
On differential.
Because that was the only loss. The way they used to do it was you would advance to the Final Four.
Right.
But all of the points, if you will, the standings counted.
Correct.
And the U.S. were if they had lost to Finland and Russia won, or it might have been a Russia-Sweden tie or something like that, the U.S. could have fallen out of the medals had they lost to Finland.
And remember, they trailed after the first period.
They did. They absolutely
did. And Herb Brooks uttered the phrase, for the rest of your blanking lives.
That was the didn't think we were going to talk about this right away, but the thing that people overlook is just how good that team was.
Oh.
Like
how many pros are on that team is ridiculous.
I think there were 11 or 12 NHL players, including some really good ones. That played, like Jim Craig, who was the darling.
He's not a great player.
No, he signed with the the Atlanta Flames.
He
was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Adam, let me tell you, he definitely came to Boom Boom and Jigs doing the TV on the Superstation. And not to where the Flame need to go.
I got to get you with Mike Solarte, our friend from
Charlotte?
Spectrum in Charlotte.
Why?
Because he does a great because he covered the
Islanders.
He covered the Ice Caps here.
Oh,
and there were players who were French Canadian.
Boom Boom,
and he does an accent so good.
I met Boom Boom's son.
Okay,
and I said, "No two air jigs. The flame need a go." And he looked at me like, "Where in the world did you grow up?" I said, "North Carolina."
Oh my gosh!
So,
all right, we will get to hoops in a minute. I want to ask you in this segment about the field of 24. The Big Ten leaked their plans for 24.
Today?
Oh, yesterday.
Okay.
Leaked a plan for a 24-team college football playoff. Again, they leaked it because they want everybody talking about it because they think that this will fly.
And Tony Petitti's a former television executive.
Absolutely.
Right.
Knows exactly what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
No guarantees. No 7 Big Ten teams, 7 SEC teams.
Okay.
Only the 4 conference champions from the Power 4 leagues.
We're going to have conference championship games.
Well, it would not have conference championship games.
Good.
It would be the elimination of conference championship games.
All right,
So
you're talking my language.
All you got to do is convince the 4 leagues, and I guess the Big Ten is all about it, convince the SEC, ACC, and Big 12 to get rid of their conference championship games. I'm not sure you're going to do that. SEC's definitly makes money as a standalone.
Reportedly, that's the only one that makes money.
The others are at best break even, but they're enhancing the conference television deals. So
sure, but 3 of those 4 are with one network.
Right, only the Big 12 is.
The Big Ten's the only one that is not.
Oh, Big 12 is also an ESPN deal? Mm-hmm. Look at that. Okay.
Yeah. So that's one conference championship game that is applied to another network.
Would you be in favor of 24?
I have no problem with 24. However,
okay,
I have another issue that's far more reaching than the 24, and that is if we don't fix the college football calendar, we've got bigger issues.
Sure. That part of it.
We're getting away from the one I noticed that when they released the dates 10 days ago or something like that for next year, we are eliminating one of the issues, which is this take a knee to the Rose Bowl deal that has completely run its course.
Right.
So, okay, we'll play your little game on New Year's Day and we'll move along.
Uh-huh.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, we all want the sunset. I got it.
Sure.
But we've kind of moved on from that now. If we're going to go this route, we have to do it at the expense of certain things. And to me, the bowls are part of it.
Well, I would
We just lost 2 bowls this week. Nobody cares.
Detroit. I talked about it. I don't know what the other one is.
LA,
Detroit.
The Gronk, Jimmy Kimmel, the Gronk, whatever game, Crown Royal presents game gone.
Nice. That's fine. Especially if you go to 24. And honestly, I don't think we're going to end up at 24.
I do.
I think we might end up at 24.
I think we're going to end up at 24 because we're going to have more than one television partner involved.
At some point, yes. But I think we'll get there when we further separate, when the top part of college football is 50 schools, 60 schools.
If you have 48 and 24 make the playoff, you're okay. If you have 64 and 24 make the playoff, you're okay.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, you can filter the rest of those 40 into 20 bowl games.
You could, or you could go and just do like Europa. You're gonna drop them. Never mind. It's an old school football, European football thing, which we no longer have.
Are we gonna have relegation along?
We'll talk about relegation. I think West Ham will be okay, Wes.
No, I'm talking about college football relegation.
Well, I'd be
for the entertainment division and the business division, the entertainment division and the academic division.
I would be totally in favor of. I've said this before on the show. The European football ecosystem closely resembles college sports.
Did I tell you to read The Club?
Oh, you did? I haven't done it yet. I need to.
The more we go, the more you need to read it.
It's shockingly similar in the way it feels, and I think part of the reason why people grow up as state fans or ECU fans, or whatever school you're a fan of, it really does mirror the people who are.
I told you,
Wrexham. Right.
I went to a West Ham match in 2014 because I had this premise from a friend of mine named Greg Campbell in Atlanta that European soccer was their version of American college football. And I've now been to 2 West Ham matches, one at Old Bowling Ground and now one at Olympic Stadium. And each time I'm reminded that the Premier League and that European soccer in the UK and Ireland and all these other places, Wales, where Wrexham is, it is college football. It's different size clubs. Well, guess what we have? Different size schools.
Yep.
It's the same thing. And they figure out a way. Why we can't drives me crazy. Because it's right there in front of you, including the calendar, which is right now we're fighting the calendar more than we're fighting the sense of 12, 16, or 24, which to me, I cannot for the life of me understand how you can't put all the smart people in a room and come out of there with a plan.
Well, who's running? That's the other thing. We don't have anybody that's running college football.
Yeah, but Adam, if you put the 4 commissioners in the room,
right?
Okay, and Charlie Baker, bless your heart, you're really nice, and you do a really good job organizing the one event that makes 85% of your operating budget. But we need to get them people out of there.
Yep.
What happened yesterday in a courtroom should not continue to be happening. By the way, did you hear the kid signed a ball for the judge?
Did he?
Yeah, apparently.
That's fantastic.
It's just such a college thing.
Yeah.
Right
I
now.
mean,
It just shows you where
they
we
went
are.
to state court. They went to state court in Mississippi. Duh. We knew what the end result was.
He
the NCAA
signed
lawyers
the
weren't
ball
even
for
there.
the judge.
The NCAA attorneys left.
They left before he ever read the decision. So good.
Like they knew the outcome. They could see it.
Sports is so great right
It's
now.
just
college level.
like the NCAA when it I think they were right about Bediako. What happened with the basketball player at Alabama?
Yes.
The
second time around, they got it right.
Right. They got that part. They got right.
The guy gave $100,000 to Alabama, ruled the first one, and you kind of knew which way it was going to fall.
But so that one they got right because it does make sense. I mean, the guy signed a 2-way contract in the NBA. That really should be enough, right?
Yeah, and it also gets Amari Bailey's case to be out.
The problem is that, and I realize we're all over the place here, but that's par for the course on this show. Wes Durham is in studio. When they allow guys who played for pro teams in Europe to come and play college basketball, which I'm fine with.
Yes.
And most coaches are fine with. Once they do that, it becomes harder to say to kids who played in the G League that they can't come back and play college ball. The NBA 2-way contract is probably a deal breaker, and that's fair. That's a good place to cross the line.
It is. Nate Oates' statement on the original Bediako ruling of we're allowing European kids who have taken the same contract that Charles did to come to this country and play, but we're not going to allow Charles to play.
Right.
I get that. But Amari Bailey, who actually played in the NBA, thinking about trying to get his eligibility restored, that's a whole other issue.
Well, if Bediako doesn't sign a 2-way deal, then it's probably a much easier sell.
I think so.
For the judge.
London Johnson never had a 2-way deal, who's on Louisville's roster, who played for the Maine Red Claws or somebody like that. I'm learning all these NBA G League teams.
Right.
But, yeah, London Johnson's on Louisville's roster. He's not playing this year. He's going to play next year, apparently.
He's red. It's interesting.
It's a red shirt. He's coming back. But he was only like in the G League, I think, 2 years, and he's coming back. He'll be classified. I'm not sure if they're going to classify him as a sophomore or junior. I've got Louisville Tuesday night in Dallas against SMU. And it's a
good game.
And I had him last week in Winston-Salem against Wake Forest, but he's not a factor, so I don't pay much attention to it. That's probably the line you can say, okay, fine. The kid made a decision. He went to the G League. He got – look, and here's the thing that I've tried to tell some folks. The idea of this is, hey, guys, you say that this can't happen. Well, why did Armando Bacot stay?
Mm-hmm.
Because Armando Bacot made more money playing basketball at North Carolina than he is whether he was in the G League with the Memphis Hustle or I think he's playing in Europe now. So you can't argue the financial.
Right.
That argument doesn't apply anymore. You know, this is not Danny Ferry going to Il Messaggero. before he ended up in the
Just to
NBA.
avoid playing for the Clippers.
Imagine
that.
We all got to have some stipulations and standards.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
All right, I want to talk hoops when we come back.
Okay.
We've got just the 3 games in the triangle. Your game, State and Miami, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
The Duke-Clemson game, which is
phenomenal.
A dynamite game. And Carolina
Pitt.
without Caleb Wilson against Pitt with Wes Durham next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
As the Olympics get underway, the best news for the Carolina Hurricanes is the absolutely awesome contract that they have for Seth Jarvis. He's now a part of Team Canada, and sometimes at these events, guys leave as hockey players and they come back as superstars. And you hope that happens for Seth Jarvis because you have him under team control for years in the future.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
The Winter Olympics are still in full swing, and I know a great way to watch them while you chill down. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here for Blue Shark Vodka, a North Carolina beverage business that produces the smoothest and cleanest vodka. And maybe you've thought about having some people over to host an Olympics watch party where you might decide to make a special Sharky Sangria or a Blue Shark Fin, if you're feeling fancy. Either way, you can't go wrong with Blue Shark Vodka, no matter how you choose to spice things up. So go check them out at your local ABC store today and visit their website for recipes at bluesharkvodka.com.
Folks, it's back and it's better than ever. Dennis Cox here from my friends over at Law Tigers. The Law Tigers are once again teaming up with your Carolina Hurricanes to give one lucky Caniac a custom Canes Ducati motorcycle courtesy of Art Moto Garage and Shiny Side Paint. Last time that you can enter this contest is March 29th, but don't wait, folks. Go to caniacsbike.com to enter. Again, caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. All your roles, fill them sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as 1 pack of cigarettes.
My kid?
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-296-6868. That's 800-296-6868.
It's back. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards going on this weekend. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands, on-site financing to get you approved and on the water, boats in stock, and price to move now. Test drive your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale going on this weekend at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards.
Gold. Gold.
Person in front of me in line had a box of wine.
Oh, yeah. I feel that person. If you are buying boxed wine on a Friday, that thing is open right now.
In the car.
Yeah. I don't even need it to cool down.
She jammed a big straw right through the top of the box
yeah.
in the
Went
car.
to the gas station to get a cup of ice. Like, they don't even care.
The Adam Gold Show.
Come on.
Perfect that it's
Come
the 13th, and it's a Friday.
And it's the mayor of Hoboken, New Jersey.
Love
God.
this.
You and I
thought
both
you would
love
like
this guy.
I know. Adam
Yeah.
loves Frank.
I love Sinatra.
I thought you would too.
I tell people this all the time. One of the best CDs. We don't have CDs anymore.
No.
I have this on CD, but of course I listen to it just digitally on my phone. Sinatra at the Sands.
Oh, yeah, with Count Basie.
Tremendous.
Yeah, no question.
I even listened to the monologues.
The monologues
the
are
story
even
about
better.
Dean Martin. Yeah, you got
The Rat Pack CD is unbelievable. That's a live concert. Sinatra 56, which is live from a club in Seattle in 1956.
Right.
Digitally remastered. You can get it on all the Spotify and stuff now. And then I tell everybody, if you want one Sinatra album you have to listen to just to say, okay, what's the story? Listen to the Madison Square Garden concert in 1971.
Okay.
The return to public performing for Sinatra.
I'll listen to it.
The Sands is unbelievable.
Tremendous.
But the other one is Sinatra, where Howard Cosell does the monologue at the beginning.
Okay. You got me.
Like the fighters that are there before him. A true champion.
All right, let's talk about the game that you're on tomorrow, 4 o'clock. We got the Wolfpack hosting Miami. Wes Durham is in the studio with us. It was a no-show performance from the Wolfpack.
I wouldn't say it was a no-show as much as it was Louisville playing at the very top of the game.
Here's why I say it was a mental no-show for them.
Okay.
Because I thought, and Will Wade said, we were never really got any footing. I disagree with that. It was 25-20, and they had the ball in the first half. Now, they were allowed – it was only played like 6.5 minutes. It was already 25-20.
It was.
So, defensively, obviously, they were struggling because Louisville was on another level. Mikhail Brown, he was just nuts, especially in the first half.
Sure.
But I thought that State was looking for the easy way back in that game, where they were relying on the three-point shot rather than let's play, let's try to get inside, attack Louisville, maybe, trying to get downhill, all of that kind of stuff. And I thought they abandoned it and just tried to shoot their way into that game.
There's some truth to that.
And as I was watching, I'm like, well, they're going to get blown out unless they just happen to make a high percentage. And they didn't.
Right.
And
Louisville did.
And
Crazy
then
number.
Down 20 at the half. It's not over, but it's over if you give up 20-some-odd points in the first 6 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, and look, there are nights like that. NC State put one on Florida State. Okay, and Florida State has proven to be a much improved team. Okay, rebuilt roster, very similar to Miami, although Miami's completely rebuilt. Not one player from a year ago. By the way, the game tomorrow at Lenovo Center, Paul McNeil is the only player who played in last year's game. Does that just tell you where college basketball is?
That is incredible.
And it was the last game of the regular season.
Wow.
The last game of the regular season, two teams, neither team was going to the ACC tournament. And Miami won the game on a Brandon Johnson putback dunk. But Paul McNeil is the only player who appeared in the game that is currently on either roster.
That's incredible.
Correct. But, yeah, look, Louisville hit on all cylinders. State hit on all cylinders at Florida State. It's going to happen now a little bit more than it used to just simply because of the way these teams go. I think college – and Dennis is probably far better. Dennis Scott probably far better to talk about this because he's transitioned back after 17 years of working for NBA TV and Turner and doing things like Players Only and stuff like that.
Right.
And he tells you – and like he said it the other night – he appreciates the lost art of the bounce pass. He appreciates the lost art of the screen and roll, the pick and roll off the wing. We joked the other night about the old T-game offense that Coach Smith had years and years ago at Carolina that every high school in America ran.
Mm-hmm.
You hear about the UCLA cut, so that's the John Wooden patterns
Sure.
of the 70s. The idea about what today, everybody can't play 5 out.
Right.
Everybody tries to play 5 out, but not everybody can.
Sure.
NC State, to your point, Paul McNeil's a weapon. I am a huge Quadir Copeland fan.
Yep.
I think what he's doing is amazing. If I had to submit first team today, he'd be on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But I think the secret sauce is McNeil. I think the secret sauce is Darian Williams. I think NC State, I think Will has done a really, really good job of putting this team in a position to make the NCAA tournament and potentially play for the double bye. Your headline tomorrow may be about State's bounce back. For me, I think the winner has a chance at the double bye.
Oh, I absolutely.
I look at the rest
I
of
think
the
State will get the double bye.
I think NC State and Miami both could be double bye teams. I'm not sure Clemson's got a hard road. Carolina's road got harder by injury as much as it did by who they're playing.
Also, the lost trip to California puts Carolina really
and I had the game at Cal, and Carolina was beaten that night. In fact, ironically, Tuesday night in Miami, Carolina got baked on some of the same stuff that they got baked in Berkeley on. And that was pick and roll to the big man. And Lee Dort did it to him in Berkeley, and Ernest Uday Jr. did it Tuesday night at Coral Gables.
Yeah, the offensive rebound, too many offensive rebounds late in the ball game.
Absolutely.
Hurt the Tar Heels. They didn't shoot it well at all.
They rarely have gotten away with losing the glass.
Yeah.
They got away with it against Duke, got away with it against Virginia. They're not going to get away with it much more this year now, especially with Wilson sidelined.
All right, just to get back to why I think it's a perfect opponent for NC State to play is because I think State, like a lot of teams, they kind of lose their focus.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not locked in to Miami, they'll lose the game. Miami is good enough to win that game. It's not like I think Carolina, without Caleb Wilson, will be interesting, but if they were fully operational, they're not losing a Pitt no matter what happens. And bless Jeff Capel's heart, they've only got 6 players.
Yeah.
There's nobody left. They're not bad, but they've only got 6.
They've only got 6. And Carolina will play overly motivated the next week and a half.
No doubt.
Trying to compensate for the injury and the production.
But if State's not locked in, they will lose to Miami because I think the Hurricanes are good.
Renew is very good.
Yep.
Uday is very serviceable.
He's just physical and big.
Trey Donaldson is really good,
Yep.
Adam. And look, I think that Dante Allen has come in as a true freshman and helped them. And then they bring Solovitz and all these Eastern European guys into the lineup from Turkey and Israel and places like this. Malovitz and Altuntas. Salih Altuntas, who comes in from Turkey, and it's Tivo Malovitz, who comes in from Israel. And he's the one that hit the three-point shot on Wilson where he was hurt.
Right.
And the and one for the 4-point play. Look, Jay Lucas is terrific. He is very, very good. He identifies plan. He identifies roster building. I thought he was a very good assistant coach for John Shire at Duke.
Yeah.
And he's now turned out to be a terrific head coach early in his career. He's got a great staff. I think Miami has kind of had their bump with Cal, had their bump at home with Florida State. But remember now, they went to Ole Miss and kicked Ole Miss in the ACC, SEC. But people have forgotten, like, Ole Miss, well, they're not very good, whatever. Well, it turns out Ole Miss not as bad as you thought, and Miami's better.
I think Miami's good.
Yeah, I think Miami's got a chance to get back in the tournament here. I'm really excited. I said this earlier on the week in Charlotte with Kyle Bailey. I am very excited about where the ACC is. And for the first time, I'm really enthused about what the tournament could be in Charlotte. It's been a couple of years for me on that. I think the tournament's got a chance to really have some drama to it and some thrills to it.
We've only had a handful of good teams the last few years. Duke's been a constant.
Yeah.
We haven't had anybody – like Virginia's not what they used to be, but Virginia's obviously better. Ryan Odom knows what he's doing.
4 first-year head coaches.
Yeah.
Laux, Ritter, Jay Lucas. You take all of them into account here. Will, they've done great work. Yeah. And DeRitter is a monster. The kid at Virginia is a monster.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is so good, knows where he is on the floor. Cameron Boozer, so good, very instinctive. I've heard this stuff the last couple. Well, he plays below the rim. No, but he knows where he is on the floor every time he catches it. He's an excellent passer, very very nice defender. Not over, he's not great. They leave that to Dame Sarr, and they should.
Yep.
Or Malik Brown, and they should. Look, I think Duke should be the favorite to finish the regular season as the winner. They would be my favorite today to get to a Final Four. But I think the ACC, Adam, has 5 or 6 teams that can get to the second weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And if they can get to the second weekend, this league makes a statement again about where it is and where its basketball prowess lies.
Yeah, and the 6 are Duke, Carolina, Virginia, Clemson, Louisville, NC State. I think State can be a second weekend team.
Yes, I agree with that. Now, Virginia Tech, like Louisville, shot the lights out of it Wednesday night at Clemson.
Yeah.
But Clemson's going to make you mad. If you're not a Clemson fan, they're going to make you mad tomorrow. Clemson gets gritty. Brad uses grit. That's exactly what this team is. It is gritty. They defend you. They don't have a star. They have a really good team. And that's the thing about Clemson that I think is really intriguing down the stretch, too.
So, to transition to Duke-Clemson, because it's going to be one of the best games of the weekend.
It's going to be one of the ugliest, too.
Yeah, it probably will. And Duke's okay playing that way.
Yeah, yeah.
They are more than willing to get in the mud with you.
That's right.
They win the game in Chapel Hill if they get a better performance from Isaiah Evans. It was not – if he's your second guy.
Sure.
He can't play like that in a game like that, and you're not going to win that game.
But he only had – and I didn't go back and watch the game. He only had 3 or 4 legitimate open looks.
Right.
Everything else was defended.
Sure. But
he was 2 for 14, so all of a sudden it's all Isaiah Evans.
He's got to be able to do more things. And hey, look, you don't have to take the shot all the time.
Yeah,
right.
Okay, let me counter with this, and I'm not saying you're wrong. Okay. I'm just going to present another wrinkle to this. You can say Isaiah Evans, but I can also point to the fact that Carolina got production from other players in the last 14 minutes of the ball game, not named Caleb Wilson.
The backcourt.
Derek Dixon.
The backcourt's the reason Carolina
Jonathan
won.
Powell hit a 3.
Yeah, he did.
Vasar hit a couple threes.
But he was great in
offensive rebounds, things of that nature. That's where Duke, when I saw Duke in California, I thought the most impressive player that night was Isaiah Evans for his year-to-year improvement as a basketball player. Right. Not as a catch and shoot and show me the 3 running down the floor. I'm good with all that. I know he's talented. To me, Duke's fate beyond at Charlotte is going to be dictated by Isaiah Evans, Cameron Boozer, and a combination of Caleb Foster and Dame Sarr.
Okay. They don't need Sarr's offense. The offense is nice.
But he is their best perimeter defender.
Correct.
Like people, I've been asked a couple times already. I had lunch with a friend of mine here who says, well, what do you think is going to happen with Carolina? The production thing takes care of itself from the offensive end, okay? Guys will get shots, whether it's Jaron Stevenson pulling a Virginia now more than not, or Zayden High more minutes. Maybe it's Jaden Young. Maybe it's Jonathan Powell, whatever. Carolina comes down to Caleb Wilson was one of your best defensive rebounders, your block shot leader. He was a presence with energy. Seth Trimble is a terrific leader. That's why Hubert Davis was emotional last Saturday night. To me, who's the guy that's going to take the composite minutes of Wilson that turn into production on the defensive end and with just energy in the ball game? Who? And it may not be one. It may be a combination of guys. Jaden Young has started. Maybe time for Jaden Young to stay a little more on the perimeter. Maybe Carolina sizes down. Vasar plays the post. Yeah, exactly. That's the question Carolina has.
Basically 2 7-footers in Stevenson and Vasar.
And then you play 3 guards.
Yeah.
Play 3 guards.
Like everybody else in college
seemingly.
basketball.
Yes, seemingly.
Yeah, and you could use Powell.
Yeah. And see, I think NC State, by bringing Sagne off the bench and Villallen Lubin.
Or you can put Bogovac back in.
You could put Loga back in, sure. But if you're NC State, comparable to that, you get Sagne in there for minutes.
Right.
You're not looking for him to go 6 and 6. You're just trying to get defensive presence.
Correct.
Rebound, block shots affect the game. Villallen Lubin has been immensely more productive.
It's incredible.
At NC State.
Yeah.
okay, which sets up Tuesday night, which is
Yeah,
a whole other
beautiful.
deal.
Gosh, I can't wait till
Tuesday night's
Tuesday.
going to be. It's a shame Wilson won't be there for that because Caleb Wilson in Raleigh would have been great television.
Oh, my gosh.
But the idea of what this is with all these teams, and we can roll Clemson in the conversation, Miami, Virginia Tech. Abdulas has played terrible offensively. Somehow the other night they went crazy again. Hansberry and Bedford went nuts, you know. So that's the point of this is that's why the league is infinitely better. And we haven't spent no time on Virginia.
Right.
With Chance Mallory and all that crowd. But the idea of where this league is, people can get excited again. It's okay to get excited.
Right. And that's the thing that it's different this year than it was last year, the year before, when we were sitting here having debates about can the ACC get 5 teams, right? And we're, honestly, and I talked
and
about
listening to Rothstein roar on about the Mountain West.
Reaching for team 5 or 6 or whatever it was. This year there's no reach. Now, where you're reaching, it's 9 or 10. And I don't think we're going to see 10, but
I think you can get 9 if you can take one of the Wednesday teams.
Yeah.
And get to Friday night with a win against the 1 or the 2.
I'll just watch Virginia Tech right now is probably the last team in.
I wouldn't count out SMU, dude.
I have SMU in comfortably. Every
How many teams you got in over there, Digger?
9. I got 9. Mike DeCourcy.
Who's your last team in? Virginia
Tech?
Okay. All right.
All,
What's DeCourcy say?
This is actually his list.
Yeah, by the way,
right
for
here.
those of you that don't know the Digger reference, Digger Phelps one time put 80 teams in a 64-team field.
With a green highlighter.
Yeah. 80 teams. He listed his teams over the course of like 2 hours of studio, and he counted up 80. He had 80 in a 64-team field.
Probably ahead of his time.
Well,
at some
may
point,
have been. Digger was always a revenue guy.
At some point,
with the Carnation.
We're going to be at 80 teams.
How long we been doing this, by the way?
Well, we don't do the Saturday.
No, I'm just talking about how long we've been doing this. 20-some years? Boy,
yes.
We're getting old, bro.
Yeah. Well, my first experience with Wes Durham, you were still at Vanderbilt.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You were still at Vanderbilt.
Years ago. Yeah, boy, that was a long time ago. That was 31 years ago this summer.
Right.
I left.
Oh, I guess you were. Maybe you were already at Georgia Tech.
I went to Georgia Tech in June of '95.
Okay, so no, then it was Tech. But I knew you as voice of Vanderbilt.
And let me say this, since I'm on the radio,
sure,
coast to coast, from Murphy to Manio.
We are
in my home state.
We are.
I am still North Carolinian, people, even though I've lived in Georgia since 1995. Okay, I still don't you worry.
All right.
Don't you folks worry. I still know where the good golf courses are. If there is one in Georgia that I prefer if I have the opportunity.
Which one?
Well, I think you know where that is.
Oh, yes.
I've been there. I've been there once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Give me something about it.
The greatest 93 of my life.
Oh, that's
putted
great.
everything out and shot 93.
That's beautiful.
And got up and down out of the back bunker at the par 3 12th to the Sunday pin.
Oh, very nice. Were there any birdies involved?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I 4-putted the first green for double. Hit the drive in the fairway at 1, knocked it on the front of the green on the second shot.
Very nice.
And then 4-putted.
So
because the greens are that good.
I've played Bethpage twice.
And I hear I played the Memorial course in Dublin last year, 2 weeks before the tournament, outside Columbus. That was harder than Augusta National.
Oh, sure, because of the rough.
Oh.
The rough is just ridiculous. Bethpage is the hardest, most straightforward-looking golf course you've ever seen, ever.
That's what Memorial is.
But it takes a blunt object and beats you in the head with it.
Memorial was that for me.
Yeah, it's
I made one birdie in 36 holes.
So I birdied the third hole as a par 3. By the way, I almost chipped in for double on 1, made 7. But the third hole is a par 3.
Yeah.
And I hit it to literally 2 feet.
And missed the putt?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was playing with my dad at the time. He made me putt it.
And?
Well, I had to put it outside the hole.
Yeah, from 2 feet.
2 feet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I did make it.
That's why I love the game. I just talked to a friend of the guy I was having lunch with. He said the course was running 14 this week. I played, and I went, 14. I live for 14, where you breathe on it, it goes 30 feet.
So I played Bethpage twice. I've had a chance to play number 2 bunch
Number
of times.
2 is lights out. I haven't played the new version of it, and I hear that.
Oh, it's tremendous.
I hear 10 is crazy good.
They're all amazing.
I hear the new one is.
Oh, I know. I know that. I have not. I have not
hear
seen
the new
that.
one is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's time to get down there.
Ooh.
All right, best team not named Duke in the ACC.
Oh, today. Today. God, it's a tie.
Okay.
Virginia.
Okay.
Who I think is really, really good. I'm going to say Louisville because I think the Michael Brown rust has been completely knocked off after 45.
So now we're seeing the team that we thought we were going to see at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. I don't ever think they were straight up ready to go until – and then he missed the 5 weeks, and Pat is such a good coach to get it, and then his staff is really good about the way they
Isn't
build
that
it.
the biggest difference in the league? The quality of the coaching, which has always needed to improve, and now we need I think Damon Stoudemire is a good coach.
Yeah, it's a hard job.
I don't know if they support the basketball program the way they need to support it.
Georgia Tech's a very hard job right now.
I mean, you're familiar with it.
I am incredibly familiar with how hard the job is right now.
When Paul Hewitt was there and fans couldn't wait to fire him, they didn't realize that now, 20 years later,
they've been to one NCAA tournament since Paul Hewitt left, and that was the COVID tournament.
And he's the best coach that they have had since Cremens.
That is correct.
By a lot. That's the guy they wanted out.
Yeah, and look.
What's he doing now?
He is the coach of I'm going to screw this up, the G League Clippers.
Oh, okay.
Whatever they're called. They used to be called Aqua Caliente. I think they're called something else now. I actually texted with him this week on an old story of he and I that I was reminded of, and I sent him a picture from Coral Gables, and he sent me back 5 laugh emojis, and he's doing great. He is he's one of the brightest guys I've ever been around as a person, let alone a basketball coach. But, yeah, I think the coaching is back. Here's the thing, too. If you're a longtime ACC fan, I know we're up against it here.
Sure.
If you're a longtime ACC fan, the thing you feared was Roy, Kay, Leonard, Jim Larinaga, whatever, Jim Boeheim, all retiring.
I don't know what they're going to do at Syracuse.
Well, who's going to be the chancellor? Who's going to be the AD?
Yep.
What does all that mean? But you wanted to know what was the other side looking like on basketball. We've now gotten through that. And the league is now starting to return to its ascent, if you will. We've now gotten the plane off the runway with vibrant coaches, really good talent. The national story is going to be the freshmen, okay?
Sure.
And I understand that. But if you want to dig to the core of where freshmen – we're not even talking – we have not talked about Shelton Henderson on this show yet. And tomorrow when he plays in Raleigh, you're going to think, holy cow, he was headed to Duke.
Oh, that's right.
And you're going to say –
that's right.
He looks like he needs to go to the combine in Indianapolis.
That's right.
He's increased his vertical 12% since he arrived on campus in Coral Gables. He has put on 10 pounds of lean muscle. Shelton Henderson, when he has the ball tomorrow in his hand, he's a freight train. Now, he's not Zion, not saying that, but that's what we're talking about. The core of the freshman storyline nationally is right here in this league.
League's great.
Yeah.
It's good to see it back. Good to see you here, Wes Durham.
Thanks. Timing was up. Timing was lovely.
Yeah. Perfect. 4 o'clock.
I really only came in here to see Victoria.
That's fine. She's right over there. We're going to stretch and place bets. We got winners next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Football's over. And while we do have basketball and hockey to look forward to, the Olympics are going on right now. And betting the Winter Games on FanDuel just makes sense. We've got everything you want, and the sports are a little bit different. So while the Winter Games are on, let's add a little spice. Okay, for skiing events, stay with the Norwegians or the Austrians for the alpine events. For the sliding events, those are like bobsleds, luge, toboggans, Germany, Italy, those are good. The Swiss also sneaky good. Swiss also pretty good in skiing. Hockey, stay with the U.S. and Canada. FanDuel, play your game during the Winter Games. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Practicing the championship way can happen 100% of every day, on the track and when traveling highways. A law of sportsmanship includes taking the high road when going away and returning home. Buckle up your seatbelt in the front and back seats. Every seat, every time. Every time you click it, it counts as a winning ticket. Demonstrate your championship drive through your safety practice and stay on the winning track. This message was brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program and the North Carolina High School Athletic Association.
You know the only feeling sweeter than opening a college acceptance letter? Knowing that you'll be able to pay for tuition however far you go. The first step? Completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA for short. Find out how much money for college you qualify for. Grants, scholarships, and other opportunities are waiting. How far can you go? Find out at cfnc.org/FAFSA 101.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Hear interviews that go beyond the headlines with guests who know North Carolina best. Listen on the radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
One Adam.
Gold.
One Adam.
Gold.
I have his jersey.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you have any other jerseys or just a Jake Delhomme?
I got so many.
Do you really?
I go all the way back from Tim Biakabatuka.
Wow.
Yes. Cam, Luke, obviously, Smitty. So, yeah, I've got multiple. 6 or 7, maybe?
6, 7?
6, 7? 6, 7?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Man, how lucky are we? We got basically the full hour with Wes Durham from ESPN, ACC Network, the reason the league turns a profit. We've got a whole bunch of stuff still to do. We have the Roundtable coming up, and then our Olympic male enhancement segment. Yep, that's a truism. It has to do with ski jumping. And it has nothing, well, no, I'm sorry, it has something to do with poles, but not the poles that you might be thinking about. Other than that, I guess we have time to stretch just a little bit.
Okay, So let's see here. I'm trying to see if I can say this fast. So 5 ideas if you are a procrastinator for your sweetie this weekend, if you haven't gotten anything for them. 1, you could do a homemade photo box filled with pictures of you and your partner. So that's always sweet. Like if you have a very, sentimental partner. Also, they say that you can make your own little scratch-off cards and put little prizes under it, like I'll do the dishes for the next week or whatever, yada, yada. I didn't realize how easy it was to make these, but if you want to make your own scratch-off, all you need to do is take acrylic paint with 1 part dish soap, and then it makes a scratchable coating. Like you can make your own. I had no idea. Also, if you want to be fancy in the kitchen, you can make pasta that's rolled up into a shape of a rose, like lasagna or something, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. You're just going to eat it. So another one, and these were not my ideas. I just read these, which I think are good ones. You could do a movie night with popcorn, candy, bottle of wine. That's always good. Never a bad idea. Or you could do a Valentine's Day themed charcuterie board. But instead, they say, instead of meats and cheeses, you could do candies and chocolates. I say do all of it.
Yeah.
Like, why would you leave off the meats and cheeses? So, yeah, no, don't do that. Also, this is my idea. You could do an at-home wine and design, night, which I think would be fun. Go get some wine or beverages that you like, and then get something to paint. There's plenty, go to Michael's, the art store, or whatever, and, get you something to paint. Who cares if it looks stupid? It's just fun.
How about paint the walls of your house?
Watch a movie. That's not as fun. That's not as fun as all. But yeah, so good luck to all those this weekend. If you have not thought of, something to get for your sweetie.
There you go.
One thing we've thought of, though, is our bets.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Do you? I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right, let's just dive right into it rather than recap yesterday, because who knows what we did yesterday.
Yeah, I don't even remember. But this weekend, USA is taking on Denmark, so give me USA. And I'm going to take the over 6.5. Lay it on them, USA. That's minus 125, so not a lot of money.
All right, we're going to start with the women who play in the quarterfinals today. USA, Italy. We're going to go under 7.5 goals. I don't think Italy's going to score. I think the U.S. will do what they have to do and win comfortably, but under 7.5 goals plus an Abby Murphy anytime goal. That's plus 427. I mean, why not? And by the way, Canada will thump Switzerland over 5.5, and Sam Reinhart will score.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed-rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%, lowest in years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time. Or you can keep your primary mortgage intact and get cash out of your equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards and some car loans and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now and see what option works best for you. But don't miss the big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous Rapid Equity Loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks, and you may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal with no hard credit pull. Call 919-381-1760 now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This is Dr. Craig McGiffin with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Are you frustrated with those trendy weight loss shots? Whether you've hit a plateau, can't handle the side effects, or watch the pounds creep back after stopping, there's a better way. Our program has helped over 70,000 people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks, without expensive injections or uncomfortable side effects. Our doctor-developed program costs significantly less and tends to work much faster. Ready for real, lasting results? Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Dennis Cox here from my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've lost 42 pounds thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and you can get on the path to a new you in the new year. Even though we're in the month of February, you should still contact Raleigh Weight Loss Center, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone consultation and lose anywhere between 10 to 20% of your body weight, which they've helped thousands of people do. Results may vary.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Every second counts in a poison emergency. That's why Poison Help is standing by 24/7 to provide free assistance in over 100 languages. Save Poison Help as a contact in your phone today. Poison Help, 1-800-222-1222.
Think Verizon is expensive? Think again. Anyone can bring their AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. So bring us your bill. Walk in, run in, pogo stick in, teleport if you can. Ride on the back of a rollerblading yak or fly in on the wings of a majestic falcon. Any way you can, bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today, and we'll give you a better deal on the best network. Based on RootMetrics Best Overall Mobile Network Performance, U.S. Second Half 2025. All rights reserved. Must provide very recent postpaid consumer mobile bill in the name of the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show.
Here's McDavid. Shot by McCarr. Score! In the final seconds of the first period. Celebrating with the redirect of the shot from Cale McCarr. 1-0 Canada.
Canada will look for more of that today. Yeah, that was a big goal right at the end of the first. Canada will look for more of that today. They will be taking on the Swiss just after we're done here. 3:10, I believe, is the opening face-off. Switzerland's good. A lot of good players. We'll remember, Niederreiter. But, I mean, Roman Josi and Nico Hischier and Kevin Fiala. There are a lot of good players for the Swiss. They're not all NHL players, but they've probably got 7, 8, 9 good NHLers. Legit. And that is, I mean, Canada's not losing to anybody but the United States. And honestly, they're probably not losing to the United States. But that's the only team that can match them. Now, the first game was a little bit of a, what's going on here early on. But especially, they got that goal late that gave them the 1-0 lead. And they took it from there. But there's nobody that can touch them. Nobody. U.S. is the only team that has a chance. And we saw in the Four Nations face-off last year, yeah, the U.S. won the first game, but the game that mattered, and I don't know that Canada was the better team in that game, but Craig Binnington, Jordan Binnington, I did it again. Jordan Binnington won that game for Canada. Now, I don't know, but I think Canada is an absolute wagon this go-round. I hope Seth Jarvis plays today. But my guess is after today, he'll probably play the third group stage game, if you will. But I think Canada's going to end up using the same lineup. Again, we're about a little bit more than an hour away from puck drop. A couple of quick things before we do a little bit of a wall of sound, as really like we had nothing happen here yesterday. Chris Paul announced his retirement today. Chris Paul from a 21-year NBA career. Now, the last couple of years certainly haven't been vintage Chris Paul. You can tell he's been trying to latch onto a team to win a title. And it hasn't worked out. In no way should that diminish Chris Paul's career. He's one of the greatest point guards of all time. A phenomenal, phenomenal player. And what I hope is that Chris Paul will now join a team for the soccer tournament. He's an investor in that, and we've spoken in the last couple of years, and I asked him last year, so when can we see Chris Paul play in this? Because J.J. Watt has played in it. Chad Ochocinco has played in it. Pat McAfee has played in it. When are we going to see Chris Paul play? And he goes, well, I'm still playing in the league, so it'll be after I retire. All right, sir. Now that you've announced your retirement, let's see you at TST at the end of May. I laid down the gauntlet for Chris Paul. Good for him announcing a retirement, sort of on his terms. I think the league basically has told him it's time. But again, 21 years in the NBA. And remember, he played 3 years at Wake Forest?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was about 3.
Players who are that good don't play 3 years in college anymore, even if you're a guard. The NFL, every year the NFL, the Players Association, releases their report cards on teams where they rate teams, sometimes their own, as to, how good an organization they are, what do they provide the players, facilities, food, treatment, all sorts of things. Well, the NFL is upset that those have become public, and so they basically went to court with the Players Association to have those report cards stay private. And the NFL won. That is amazing to me because clearly the public embarrassment has forced change, which I think we could all assume would not have otherwise happened had it not become public that, we're treating we don't provide this for essentially our employees. So so now we're not going to know. When you get publicly humiliated for being a bad franchise isn't necessarily the right thing. Like Kansas City has gotten low marks for a lot of things. The New England Patriots got a new practice facility because it became public that the players thought that their practice facility was bad. I think the Patriots are one of 2 teams that achieved that. Like, that should be public, but I guess not. And one more thing. I don't know how many people pay close attention to it. I do, because I pay close attention to all things Olympics, but there was a controversy over the judging of the ice dancing competition.
Oh.
Okay? Now, this is obviously will surprise nobody because there is always a controversy over figure skating judging. So, the Americans finished in the silver medal. The French finished in the gold medal position. There are 9 judges. 5 of the 9 judges voted the U.S. the better in the free skate. 4 voted for France. So obviously it was close. And all of the voting was relatively close except for one where the French judge, there was no American judge, the French judge essentially had the French team routing the U.S. team with like a gap of almost 14 points, and the overall margin was about 1.5.
Wow.
So,
biased much?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. So the ISU, the International Skating Union, investigated and said, nah, we're good. It's fine. All right. Is what it is. It's figure skating. That's the way they do it. They judge. And there's always controversy. All right, let's do a wall sound.
The wall of sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
The NCAA lost in court yesterday. So, you may remember that they won in court. I think it was either earlier this week or late last week when they essentially won the right to have Charles Bediako, who played parts of 3 seasons in the G League, but was there on a 2-way contract in the NBA. Anyway, he played 5 games for Alabama. I don't know what's going to happen to those 5 games. They won 3 of them because he is now an ineligible player. Do they have to vacate those wins? Probably not, but I have no idea what's going to come out of it. But yesterday, Trinidad Chambliss, who was the darling of the college football playoff as a quarterback for Ole Miss, he was trying to get declared eligible. The NCAA twice declared him ineligible. They appealed it, and the NCAA said, no, you're still not eligible. They went to state court in Mississippi, and don't you know, the Mississippi, the Mississippi state judge said, yeah, he's eligible, and that the NCAA should have given him a medical waiver to play a 6th year. Myron Metcalf of ESPN.
The NCAA is fighting for something that has nothing to do with the specific case. They're fighting to remain relevant. And to do that, they're trying to enforce these archaic rules instead of stepping back and saying, we got to make some dramatic changes if we want to continue to be the governing body of collegiate sports. That's the reality. That is the line in the sand for the NCAA. They're losing every single case with the exception of the Bediako situation. And let's be clear, that may not be over. The NCAA has to change or it will die.
Well, the NCAA is not going to change. The problem with the NCAA, and they will always be relevant because if it's not the NCAA, it's going to be another organization that acts exactly like the NCAA. So, to me, it's not about that. Once you allow one player to play on a medical waiver and to play a 6th year, or allow junior college time to not count, or you allow a player who plays for a professional team in Europe, you have now opened the door to lawyers who are better than you are at finding loopholes. You know the only way around this? Yes, collective bargaining. That's where we're headed. I don't know when we'll get there, but that's the only way around it. By the way, there is a congressman from Missouri who has a bill he is going to try to push through the House of Representatives, and I'm telling you, I keep saying it, we'll never get a bill that the colleges like. We might get one, but the colleges will not like it. Stop asking for it. The Roundtable with, I believe, Pat Welter.
Yes.
And Randy Slack.
Yes.
Next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The world's best athletes in Italy are going for the gold, and 99.9 The Fan will help you follow them for all 16 days of the Winter Games through February 22nd. Listen for all the action from across the Atlantic. Check in often for event finals from Italy and the updated medal count as the USA takes on the world. Updates from the Winter Games on 99.9 The Fan are presented by Wake Med.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Hey, Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. The Olympic Games in full swing. Men's hockey tournament. We've already seen a bunch of really interesting results. How about Finland absolutely bludgeoning Sweden 4-1 earlier today? We've got Slovakia, who is 2-0. And I'm thinking about the bronze medal. Who's going to win the bronze medal? Slovakia's plus 1,100. They look actually good. So did the Finns today against the Swedes. But what if somebody upsets the United States? How about a USA bronze medal at plus 550, which could happen? Look, I'm not being defeatist. The U.S. looked awfully good in beating Latvia. So think about things like that as you're watching the games. FanDuel, the home for the Winter Games, in the palm of your hand on FanDuel. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Breaking news. Multiply the Cash scratch-offs are here and have $1 billion in total prizes? Mike's live on the scene.
The word is out, and with so much cash up for grabs, everyone's getting in on this $1 billion. Grandma?
Out of my way, Mikey. Granny's on a roll.
You heard it here first, folks. Get in on $1 billion of wins with new Multiply the Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.01 to 4.82. Problem gambling helpline, 877-718-5543.
It's back. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards going on this weekend. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands. On-site financing to get you approved and on the water. Boats in stock and price to move now. Test ride your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale going on this weekend at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
This is Adam Gold.
80-second mark, I scream in the booth. I screamed in the booth. Why the heck is he still on the ice?
Did you say it in Finnish?
I should have.
Yes.
No, he wouldn't. He curses in English.
He does.
All right, 2 seconds later, he scored.
Yes.
And I went, oh, that's why. That's why.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Olympic uniform enhancement. We will address that coming up in about 20 minutes. Looking forward to that. But right now, on a Friday, Roundtable time.
Camelot. It's only a model.
Oh, man, very excited. Randy Slack, ESPN Wilmington, Pat Welter, WRAL TV5, 2 of my absolute favorites. I know I say that every Friday, but Randy Slack and Pat Welter are 2 of my absolute favorites. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. We're going to start with a little basketball here, and I will start with you, Randy.
Okay.
Caleb Wilson's injury means What?
Well, I mean, it's not great, obviously. It's a huge blow for Carolina, and it's really a shame because it felt like, this was really a year. I mean, they needed Carolina basketball to be good. It felt like it has been on a downtrend, and then with everything that happened with the football team and Bill Belichick, it was like, boy, if Hubert Davis and the boys don't have a good year, this was going to be a really disaster. But they were turning it around, but unfortunately with the injury, it's into what might have been definitely an uptick on the season.
I have a hard time. Randy, were you insinuating that not all things are great with UNC football?
I've heard things from a lot of people.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I don't know. They seem pretty happy with things over there. Jordan and Bill were at the Duke game. Jordan apparently is a big fan of the spa in southern South Florida where Robert Kraft was occasionally would frequent and maybe get a put a smile on your face massage. She's a big fan of that. Anyway, Pat, the injury to Caleb Wilson, it means what?
Yeah, I believe Orchids of Asia was the name of the spa you were looking for. Not that
You also a fan. That's fine. Fine. Do you have a T-shirt?
It's a good logo. Looks good.
Does.
Yeah,
By the way, isn't it very likely, given her family background, that they might be an investor in Orchids of Asia?
You know what? At this point, I'm not ruling anything out. So why not? She's into real estate in New England. South Florida is a thriving real estate market as well.
She is a business woman.
Very savvy, multiple avenues. With Caleb Wilson injury, it's unfortunate that this goes from he just wrapped it up, he's fine, it's his left hand, to no, he's out indefinitely, and we don't have a timetable, but you think about a broken hand, potentially broken bone in the wrist. I mean, you're looking at a minimum typically of 4 weeks, plus the strengthening it takes to get that wrist back to form. And, we're a month away from the ACC tournament. So this drastically limits UNC's ceiling. I mean, I think they can still – obviously they've done enough already with quad one wins to pretty much get into the NCAA tournament. What their seed is going to be is probably going to be lower. They're probably going to be looking at an 8 to 9 seed if they – kind of go 500 the rest of the way. And so it creates a vacuum. And it's like, how do you fill 19.8 points per game? They don't have any other scorers. Well, they do. This is UNC. There's really talented players. It's just a matter of who's going to step up. So it's going to be interesting to see how they fill that void.
So here's my read on this is fracture in his, they say left hand. They say hand, maybe in his wrist. I mean, and he came back in the game. And his initial return to the game looked very good. Made a couple of great plays on the defensive end, went down and scored. And I thought we were going to see a Caleb Wilson experience the rest of the way. That isn't what happened at Miami. But as long as he's back by the start of the ACC tournament, I don't know if that's possible or not, then I think the impact is negligible, because the committee will take into account that he wasn't there for any of it. Clearly, they're not going to get better without him, although maybe they'll win a bunch of games. But I think that their regular season ceiling is where it is right now, which is as high as a 4 seed. I don't think, as long as he's back by the time we see the ACC tournament, then I think that there won't be a great impact on where they're seated and all of that. The impact will be, what is he when he comes back? How much, does the, missing, let's just say 3 weeks of basketball or 4 weeks of basketball, how much does that impact, how well they play and how far they go? But without knowing, and we're not going to know until we see him or until they declare that he's not coming back, I just don't think that – I'm not sure that it will have any great impact until we actually see them play, which is probably the greatest non-answer to my own question ever. But I think it's really a great unknown. I'll go back to Pat for this, because I know you guys both cover and talk about the Panthers a lot. So I want, Pat, from you, in order, areas that you would address for the Panthers.
Pass rusher, is probably first, right? Like they've locked up a lot of cornerstone positions. Like they've got the offensive rookie of the year in Teteroa McMillan. They've got a left tackle. Say what you want about Icky,
right.
And they've got a lockdown corner and they've got a lockdown defensive tackle. These are like key positions. Really, the only one missing since Brian Burns left is a true pass rusher. And I think in this draft, there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks at the top that aren't going to go. They're going to fall. I mean, we'll see. I mean, seeing guys like Reuben Bain going as late as 9 or 10. They're not going to get him, but if you can use that capital on a pass rusher, I think that would be key. And then, it can never hurt to just invest more and more in that offensive line, because Bryce Young, as much as he's come along, he's still limited, and they're going to need to run the ball. And we saw them struggle offensively late in the season as kind of the running backs kind of regressed. So I would probably go pass rush and keep investing in an offensive line.
All right, Randy, same question to you, and then I'll tell you where you guys were wrong.
Yes, definitely. Well, I'm always wrong anyway.
Yes, sure.
I just did my employee review today. Yikes. Anyway,
did you do it for yourself or?
I had my employee review. My boss reviewed me. Said I was, great. It actually wasn't bad. I digress. Shout out to ADP. Anyway, edge rush for sure. Obviously, that's where they need the most help. Really, the biggest thing is they have a ton of guys on the interior of that offensive line that are free agents, and who you bring back and who is filling those guard positions and the center position and potentially that third tackle, I think is really, really important with this team. They've drafted and tried to get some running backs. Obviously, there's no way you bring Rico Dowdle back. You're not going to be able to afford him, but clearly having a reliable second option at tailback is really important, because I don't know if the guy they took from Texas, Brooks, a few years ago is ever going to be healthy.
And it certainly won't be healthy until some point during this season. All right, I don't know what the dead cap hit would be. Would you keep Dowdle and maybe let Chuba go? To me, that would be something to consider. Although Chuba Hubbard certainly is a good player, they're both good players. Ideally, you would be able to keep both, but financially that won't be possible. All right, so here's where, I understand the edge rusher thing. They don't have a reliable edge rusher, although I'm not entirely sure that Nick Scarton isn't going to be somebody that can be that guy down the road.
For sure.
I think left tackle is the biggest area of need for this team, and that's even with, let's just say Ike Ekwonu comes back healthy. I think if we were making a list of the best left tackles in the NFL, we would be here a minute before we got to Ike Ekwonu. And I just think, I'm not saying he's not a good player. I think if you're a great team, he isn't your left tackle. Maybe he's on the right side. Maybe he's the guy that will ultimately replace Taylor Moton. But I would be on the lookout for a left tackle, whether it's in the draft or free agency, somebody who can step in and play that position on day one. I like linebacker, whether it's somebody who can play on the edge or a great player in the middle, which, who knows, that might be where Reuben Bain ends up in the NFL, playing more of an inside linebacker position. And I still think they need somebody else at wide receiver or tight end. A dynamic, pass-catching, run-after-the-catch wide receiver or a tight end who can get down the middle of the field that they can rely on, because they don't have that. That would be the best thing, I think, to give Bryce Young. All right, Randy, this will be our final topic of conversation here, because we are about to talk. Yeah, we are about to talk about male enhancement and the Olympics. That's coming up next. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah, not with you, with somebody else. What Olympic?
I'm not an expert on male enhancement, by the way, so I'm glad you're not asking me about that.
Please. Just please. Hey, some people need it and some people don't. An Olympic event that you would never watch other than these 2.5 weeks.
I would watch just for these 2.5 weeks the two man luge, because it's the funniest event there is. Having a dude lay on top of you while you go down this hill thing is pretty hilarious. And like there's a lot of questions that I have.
You have questions, okay?
Well, apparently I heard that you could do this. You don't have to have it guy on guy. You could theoretically have a woman on the team. But honestly, I just feel like every guy, I definitely have to have that second person be a dude. Like, I don't know how I could have a female partner, but that's just an interesting entire situation.
All right, they also have doubles.
Started, to be honest.
That's fine. They have doubles women's luge as well. First time in the Olympics this year that there is doubles women's luge. I was not aware that you could have mixed luge, which is we had mixed curling. I don't see why that would be any different, although I think you want two men on the sled because the heavier the sled, theoretically, the faster it should go.
Sure.
Pat, Olympic event you would otherwise not watch that you are locked into?
Well, I'll make a shout-out to Skeleton, which is another downhill sled riding activity.
It's the same thing as luge, except head first.
And the dude who had the Venom helmet, which is exactly like if I was a hockey goalie, that's me right there. Venom. I got Venom right now on my work cell phone background, so I'm
very
eager
nice
for Venom. But I'll also say I watched the Quad God and Ilya Malinin, and I was surprised to learn that it wasn't because he has giant Saquon Barkley quads. It is because he does quadruple leaps at an unfathomable rate. And backflips. And it lived up. The kid's good. It was really impressive. Figure skating. Also the dude who has I'm calling him dude, I don't have his name, the guy that skated to Dune in the suit, in Timothy Chalamet, suit for walking across sand. I appreciate that. A lot of Hans Zimmer soundtracks.
Very nice.
I've appreciated that as well. I heard a Gladiator. What a great theme Gladiator was. So I'm enjoying the figure skating.
Figure skating's been great. Ilya Malinin is going for gold today, and I know it will air in prime time tonight on WRAL TV 5 right here in Raleigh. There you go. Absolutely. Shout out the company. We're all about that. Are you guys into the curling at all?
I did curling 2 years ago. We did it when we had the Olympics, and there was a place I went to. I want to say it was in Apex. It's tricky. Like you got to have a real fine touch because you shoot that thing off, and it just goes, and you can't get it off the course. So it was a fun experience. And the form, shout out to my former coworker Casey Hintz from Canada.
Yes.
He had the form down. I was not as graceful.
No, it's not easy.
Curling's like pickleball. I don't really get the hype on it, but I'm glad that other people enjoy it.
It's awesome. Curling, I sat there yesterday ripping the U.S. men for poor strategy against Switzerland. I didn't understand it. I went to Twitter, and I'm like, I don't get what these guys are doing. And they got routed. So I felt vindicated. But I'm all about it. I'm all about the curling. Randy Slack and Pat Welter, our guests here on the Roundtable at rslack37. Patrick, you are Patrick Welter, correct?
Yeah, I got the full name out there on the Twitter.
Very nice, Patrick. Very formal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You have a bow tie on your
That's TV for you.
On your picture.
Those guys are fancier than us, Adam.
Yes, and shout out to ADP. All right, gentlemen. Randy Slack and Pat Welter, thank you so much for your time.
For sure, thanks.
Always fun. All right, when we come back, how can 2 centimeters equal 5.8 meters, and how does it impact a gold medal? Matt Brown, extra points on male suit enhancement in Olympic ski jumping. Next.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Football's over. And while we do have basketball and hockey to look forward to, the Olympics are going on right now, and betting the Winter Games on FanDuel just makes sense. We've got everything you want, and the sports are a little bit different. So while the Winter Games are on, let's add a little spice. Okay, for skiing events, stay with the Norwegians or the Austrians for the alpine events. For the sliding events, those are like bobsleds, luge, toboggans, Germany, Italy, those are good. The Swiss also sneaky good. Swiss also pretty good in skiing. Hockey, stay with the U.S. and Canada. FanDuel, play your game during the Winter Games. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Practicing a championship way can happen 100% of every day. In the pool and when traveling highways. A law of sportsmanship includes taking the high road when going away and returning home. Buckle up your seatbelt in the front and back seats. Every seat, every time. Each time you click, it counts as a winning ticket. Demonstrate your championship drive through your safety practice. A freestyle by any measure. This message was brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association.
You know the only feeling sweeter than opening a college acceptance letter? Knowing that you'll be able to pay for tuition however far you go. The first step? Completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA for short. Find out how much money for college you qualify for. Grants, scholarships, and other opportunities are waiting. How far can you go? Find out at cfnc.org/FAFSA 101.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Hear interviews that go beyond the headlines with guests who know North Carolina best. Listen on the radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This is Adam Gold.
So Mike Vrabel, the coach of the New England Patriots, they asked him about birthday cake, and he said there was only one cake qualified for his birthday cake.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
You want to guess what that is?
Is it vanilla?
No.
Oh.
Carrot.
I love him even more.
The Adam Gold Show.
When does 2 centimeters equal 5.8 meters? I'm talking in metrics, people. And how could that be the difference between a gold medal and maybe not even medaling at all? That and other affairs of the Olympic heart with Matt Brown. Extra Points at Matt Brown EP on Twitter. The story that you have in your newsletter today, we are going to get to. I saw it last week too and laughed out loud. So I haven't had a chance to talk about it yet because it's kind of hard to work like, Smiling Bob from the old Enzyte commercials into a solid Olympic story. But before we get to that, before we get to male enhancement, and it's just such a great story. You wrote, I think it was last week, and I saw, references to it on Twitter, something that you and I probably discussed anyway, and I've been talking about it for a long time. Maybe the need, maybe not, I don't know about potential, but the need for 3 levels of Division I football. We currently have FBS and FCS. Those are 2 distinct levels. But maybe we do need a 3rd level, and I guess this is in the wake of the Big Ten's leaked proposal for 24 teams in the college football playoff. Where are you on 3 levels of D1, and why do you think we need it?
I could certainly be persuaded for this. The issue that I think many fans understand, people like you and I understand, and increasingly the athletic directors and coaches and people we talk to for a living all understand, is that it just doesn't make sense to pretend that what Ohio State and Ohio are competing for are the same things.
Right.
In terms of budgets, in terms of roster acquisition, in terms of fan base. And as college football at the highest level is in danger of becoming even more insular within not just only the P4, but in some ways really the P2, you have other schools that are raising their hands and saying, like, we need something different. Because if you're a Wyoming or a North Dakota State or potentially an ECU, right, you don't really have that much in common with Ohio State or Texas. But I think equally you could say we don't have that much in common with Campbell or Central Connecticut State or some of the bottom of the FCS. There's more similarities for schools kind of in that 30 to 70 million athletic department budget range. It's the sort of thing that I think you can get people to say this makes sense at a bar at the American Football Coaches Association or NACDA, but without a judge or without ESPN pushing it, it's hard to see what the catalyst is for that kind of dramatic change.
Matt Brown, Extra Points, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I think if you poured truth serum down the gullets of even ADs at places like Pitt or Iowa State, places like that don't operate fully in terms of NIL and revenue sharing like some of the schools within their own leagues, they might also be in favor of that, but they can't say it publicly because you can't admit to that. Plus, your league doesn't want you to admit to it. But my guess is that there are a lot of those schools that would also be secretly in favor of 3 levels.
I think especially if you would be hypothetically allowed to divorce where your football program competed with everything else that you're doing. To use the Iowa State or Pitt example, are they funding and operating their football teams at a level compared to OSU or Miami? No. But can Iowa State potentially still win a men's basketball national championship?
Yeah.
Yeah. They could beat anybody in the Big 12, and they've built great rosters. Pitt, the elite national women's volleyball contending program, has been good at men's basketball in our lifetimes.
Yep.
Maybe not the lifetimes of some of our listeners, but we remember when this was the elite program.
Yeah.
But you can't pick and choose right now, right? And to say that we want to do something different with football would be to completely nuke your athletic department on every other level. It would be suicide. It's all right now. It's political suicide if you're a university president and say, yeah, maybe we should be FCS or maybe we should be Division III. Like the people who do this, Adam, you know this as well as I do. They don't get other jobs. That's a call you make when you're retiring or when you're going to change industries.
Yeah. What's interesting is that it would cost them money, right? Because it would cost them the big football money, and the football is a huge part of it. But maybe it would allow some of these schools to not even pretend anymore and then devote. Like, I'm curious as to a school like Syracuse, who I don't know when they're coming back in terms of basketball. but this is a heritage basketball program, historically great over the last 60 years. And right now, I don't see a way forward for them. I'm sure they're putting a lot of money into football, and I'm not saying football's not important. It used to be a great football program too. But, man, basketball is really their signature, and I don't know where they're going to be because I just don't see the players going there. God, Kyan Anthony's barely playing up there right now, and he's a legacy player. So maybe it'll just allow a school like that to say, you know what, we're not worried about this. We're going to devote all of our NIL money into another sport.
It would be nice, and this is something I've pitched often when not in articles to lots of administrators. The example that I like to think about a lot is actually here with ECU, where I think in a perfect world, I think it would be great for ECU to say we want to put our baseball team in the absolute best league possible, and allow the ACC to put ECU in there just for baseball, or to build some superpower Sun Belt for baseball that would be perennially a 5-bid league. What ECU is able or wants to do for men's basketball is not at that level, and that's okay.
Right.
But you can't split those things up. And you have in a league like in the American where you have some schools that have won baseball national championships since we've been working as professionals and will sell out and be huge events, and some where they're not even trying. It's a Division III program in name only. The reason this doesn't happen is because of television, about leagues being afraid to break up some of their inventory, what might damage what they can get from ESPN Plus. And I think it's about prestige and control. And if I knew how to address those kind of concerns, I wouldn't be in this line of work.
Matt Brown, extra points. Incidentally, John Gilbert, the athletic director at East Carolina, got a 3-year contract extension today. Football seems to be on a very good trajectory, and baseball is also on great footing. So the only two things that really matter at East Carolina are in very good shape. Nobody has been able to figure basketball out, in spite of the fact that Greenville is pretty close to Tobacco Road, and it's a great basketball state. Nobody, even Terry Holland, who was the AD there for a number of years, nobody has been able to figure men's basketball out. And frankly, it doesn't really matter. It just it's something to pass the time before baseball starts, and baseball starts this weekend. Matt Brown. All right, I'm going to skip the two court cases, the Trinidad Chambliss and the Charles Bediako, which are two very different cases, and the NCAA went 1-1, which is a great record for them when it comes to court cases. So I saw this story. You wrote about it today, but I saw it last week, and my gosh, is this not delicious? So ski jumpers get their suits 3D sized, if you will, and the men, I guess I guess there is women's ski jumping. I don't know how it works for that, but the men have enhanced their jumping beans to the point where it increases the size of the suits, which increases the amount of wind that they can catch, which increases the size of the jumps. This seems next level cheating to me. Part of me is impressed. Part of me is embarrassed. What are your thoughts? I know you've written about it.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw this story too, about a week and a half ago, I had a good laugh and just thought, like, well, this is a very creative way of bending the rules. But because I'm a serious professional, like, the next thought was, like, does this impact other sports? I'm a Brazilian. I don't know anything about ski jumping, right? Like, I live in Illinois. The tallest hill we have here is 20 feet. Right. So I called some urologists. There's one quoted in the story. I talked to a couple of other ones, and I wanted to know, like, is this safe? If it's not safe, would you like the opportunity to tell the public to not inject anything into your penis outside of a medical clinical setting? And, the thinking was like this: don't do this at home. You should have a doctor do it if that's something you're doing. But they also, said temporarily enlarging one's member does not make you better at sports. It will make you better at ski jumping in this very specific thing, but it's really about the uniform, not the physiology of the body. What multiple people did tell me, though, which I had not considered, and may be something worth talking about or exploring further, is the idea that Viagra could potentially be a athletic performance enhancing drug, because it improves cardiovascular ability and the ability to send blood throughout the body. Now, it has one specific usage that most people use it for, but I guess there's some medical research to suggest that it will improve cardiovascular performance at high elevations or in significant intensity. So it's not a banned substance by the NCAA right now. It is legal, as best as I can understand it, to pop some Viagra before running a cross-country race at Northern Arizona. We'll have to see if anybody thinks, does this and gets a benefit out of it.
The whole story is incredible, and because of the area that it's in, it creates more of and I think you used the example of a sail on a boat, because in the crotch area of a suit, of a ski jumper suit, if there's extra fabric there, it just creates more ability to catch wind. The whole thing is great. By the way, I can just tell you, Enzyte never worked, but I only know that from talking to people who tried it. I never, I never bought any. Well, they were probably giving it out for free. Smiling Bob looked happy though. You remember those commercials, right?
Not just Smiling Bob. From what I remember correctly, Mrs. Smiling Bob also was quite happy from the commercials. I'd forgotten that those existed until you brought it up.
Yeah, his driving distance was greatly enhanced. I know there were pictures of Smiling Bob on the golf course. Look, I'd just be happy to hit a few more fairways. I'm past the age where the driving distance really matters all that much. But this is next level cheating. We haven't seen anybody get caught for this at the Olympics, have we?
No, we've only had stories of authorities saying that we are aware that this is a thing that we have to go check for now, and this is now part of the testing, and that's where I think this is the interesting college sports angle comes from, right? Because we have a list of banned substances that are tested, that are mostly beta blockers or anabolic steroids or the kind of things that baseball players took en masse in the 90s. But for good or for ill, in every sport, college or otherwise, elite competitors are always looking for that little extra edge that might help them from 1 or 2%. And sometimes it can be silly. Like I remember reading at the last cross-country championships that apparently like slathering olive oil on runners helps them retain heat better if it's a place that they're running somewhere where it's cold, or that this is the sort of thing that elite runners do. And that was, honest to God, why I decided to call some doctors about this sort of thing, because I don't know, and nobody really knows yet, if there are other medicines that can be taken for other things, penile or otherwise, that might have unfair advantages for other sports.
If olive oil is allowed, then the study becomes like, what about grapeseed oil? What about extra virgin versus regular olive oil? What about canola? We have now we're going to be testing all sorts of oils. This whole thing is hysterical. I love it. On a serious note, we know what steroids do to the body over time, especially to male genitalia. I do wonder if injecting acid into the situation, if that ultimately did the urologist you spoke with, did he indicate that that's probably not healthy even short term?
So what I was told from the medical professionals about this kind of injection is that it is dangerous if it is injected in the wrong place. But the specific kind of acid we're talking about here, this isn't like the kind of acid that a James Bond villain would use to dissolve a bad guy. This is a type of chemical compound that your body naturally produces, and is available over the counter in some skin creams, right?
Gotcha.
So it's not poisonous, but you shouldn't do it yourself. And if you shoot it in the wrong spot, you could have some deformities for a number of months until everything is reabsorbed back into the system. But you actually did mention something that I think is important, and part of why there's been medical research about Viagra and sport performance. because the first way that a lot of anti-doping agencies and like medical boards became aware of all this is because you have baseball players who are taking so many steroids that they would then have decline of sexual function, and then so they'd start taking Viagra, and that would be kind of a tell in a locker room if maybe there's some other injections going on. Is if you see a bunch of normally healthy 33-year-olds with a ton of Viagra in their lockers.
Yep.
And look, I am not a medical professional. I don't believe this is a medical professional show. I can't tell you whether this is all a good idea or not, but a sudden, increase in otherwise healthy athletes taking this stuff is part of what spurred on some of this research.
I just want to make sure that everybody know that Matt said spurred. There was no spurt. There, Matt Brown at Matt Brown EP, Extra Points, the newsletter. That's where you get stuff like this. Treating this like a legitimate news story takes you to the next level, Matt. I appreciate your time. We will talk again very soon.
You bet. My solemn promise to everybody is I will take both very serious and very stupid things very seriously. If you go to extrapointsmb.com right now, you'll find legal analysis. Like yesterday, I talked to the AD at UTEP about what you do when the FAA shuts down your airport for 3 hours and how you bring your basketball team back home, like serious stuff. And then we'll also talk about if Viagra can make you better at cross country. Find it all.
I mean, you gotta. Just go subscribe to it. I do. Seth Jarvis is playing today.
I know.
For Canada. I'm very excited. Jarvis will play on a fourth line with Canada today as they take on the Swiss. Again, I think Switzerland is capable. That doesn't mean they're going to touch Canada, but somebody is going to win the bronze medal. Somebody. I don't know who it's going to be. But Switzerland will be in that group. By the way, the Finns beat the Swedes today. And if you know anything about international hockey, that is a rivalry. That is legit rivalry. And the Finns were awesome, especially early. They got out to a 2-0 lead. Game was pretty even, I thought, through the rest of the way. I think Finland scored an empty net goal. It was 3-1 until late. I think they scored into an empty net to make it 4. They scored in the third period anyway to make it 4-1. But a very, very hard-fought, little bit of a feisty game between the Finns and the Swedes. Remember, Finland playing without Alexander Barkov. I don't think Sweden is playing with a fully operational Victor Hedman at this point. But those two teams will be in that bronze medal conversation, as will Czechia, who had to come back to beat France. Led 2-0, trailed 3-2, won it 6-3. But USA Denmark over the weekend, then USA Germany. The American women are playing Italy coming up in about 15 minutes. Quarterfinal action of the women's event should be a blast. Victoria, thank you very much. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
He scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen for the buzzer beaters.
Trimble for the win! Yes! At the buzzer! Trimble does it! Carolina's first lead is the last! They win it 71-68! It is bedlam in the Smith Center.
The road to